We got a very special guest in with us today to record this show. Someone that, I don't know, as a Lakers fan, I know a little decently well. As a LeBron fan, I know a little decently well. Someone that you jackasses have never met a day in your life as a fan. Someone you never even thought about seeing in person, seeing at a parade with your team. We got the Larry O'Brien here today.
I'm 9 wins away. We're 9 wins away. We're going to get it. He's coming home.
Doubt.
He's coming home.
This guy can't even say anything about wins.
No,
He's never experienced anything close to this.
Listen, man.
At least my ancestors have seen him. You know, they met him.
I received through my win. I felt this through my GOATs, through the LeBrons, through the Steph Currys, through the Kobe's. So although my team haven't experienced it just yet, I lived through those guys.
Sad.
It is.
Pitiful.
It is.
Could never be me. Tough.
I had bedtime stories, so it was fine.
I've been there. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Blah, 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 blah.
But with that being said, outside of us having the Larry O'Brien trophy in person here today to chat along with us.
The real one. We could diamond test it right now. The
real one.
It's not the fake one. It's not the one that you're going to see at the Sphere in Vegas. This is the real one.
2025.
Shout out to the NBA for setting us a trophy that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have at the end of the season. They're going to hang it up in their trophy case.
Wow.
Not the Knicks.
You've been waiting on that bar.
But aside from that, as you guys see by the title, today we're going to be grading every single NBA star's playoff performance. So we want to do this because it's been very interesting to see how harshly NBA basketball has changed from regular season to playoffs this year. We talked about it for the past 3 weeks. It's been a ridiculous level of physicality that most stars are performing worse, as you'd expect, because they're allowed to get punched in the chest every time they dribble the ball. So we're going to look across the entire NBA and really just gauge how each star has been able to hold up to these different conditions, who's risen, who's fallen. Yeah, man, talk about everybody.
Let's do it. Who do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, who's starting with?
First, cue the intro music. Motherfuckers almost forgot.
I did.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters, rejoice.
Let's go ahead and start with the series that ended yesterday. We're recording this on Thursday morning. Also, we're going to do the Denver Nuggets and OKC players at the end of this episode because we're going to record again tonight to give you guys a live reaction to whatever happens in Game 6. So we're saving those guys for the end. Let's start with the series that ended last night. The Warriors and the Timberwolves. We got to grade Anthony Edwards and Steph Curry, obviously. And then we'll throw in Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle as well.
And Jimmy Butler. Yeah. I just had to say a prayer because, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. And it's over. We saw
RIP the dream.
RIP the dream.
Let's start with the Warriors. Obviously, they were a team that was in goddamn disarray to start the year. Everybody was dancing on their grave. And then they got Jimmy Butler, who came in and really was one of the most impactful midseason tradings of all time.
Saving grace. Absolutely right.
I don't know if you've ever seen a midseason trade be this impactful. They were like number 3 net rating post-trade. They were number 1 defense in the league, up there with the OKC Thunder, like top 5 in offense as well. Really dominant. And all that shit came crashing down because Steph Curry pulled his hamstring in game 1 of the series. What are you grading the playoff run overall for Steph Curry first?
I mean, it's tough because the series against the Rockets, it wasn't amazing, right? Like it was a very, very tough series, and I feel like they really, really pushed his body and the limits to which he can carry a team at this stage in his career. Mm-hmm. I'm still gonna give him an A- just because I'm gonna give him an A- because we didn't get a start to finish amazing Steph Curry series. However, if you look at this series and you look at how bad the Warriors are offensively, you get to actually see how much he's carrying on a night-to-night basis, how much of that offense he is putting on his back and what they look like without him. So just his presence on the floor means so much. So I'm giving him an A- for that.
I can understand you wanting to give him an A-. He did have a pretty good series, as good as it can get when it comes to going against a defense like the Houston Rockets. But
he got hurt.
He had a couple stinkers. I think 1 or 2 stinkers in that series. And on top of that, too, yes, he got hurt at the end of the day. So that immediately eliminates you from being in the any A conversations. But again, when he was playing for those 12 minutes and 54 seconds exactly, he was terrorizing the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I'm not going to hold the injury against him personally. I'm going to give him an A. I think what we've seen is made it clear that Rockets defense is serious. I think if the Warriors didn't get hurt, if Curry didn't get hurt, the Warriors probably would have won this series. That's not crazy to say. Or at least they would have had a chance, right? It wouldn't have been the blowout it turned out to be, obviously. I think the Warriors were in good position. Obviously, they won game 1 without Curry for the large part. This playoff series showed to me that the Rockets defense is even better than we thought. They put up a crazy fight. And like you said, every single star in this playoff, the whole series, set of series, most of them saw their efficiency drop because of the increased physicality, because of the increased attention. This motherfucker Curry shot 60% from 2. 60% from 2 against an amazing offense when Jimmy Butler was good but not dominant or anything because, like I said, that Rockets defense did a very good job overall, took it to 7 for a reason. I think Curry showed that he's kind of different than a lot of these young stars who are, more to the whims of whatever the defense allows them. Curry got his game off. I don't hold against him that he got hurt, so I'm really judging him on the first round. To me, it's an easy A.
Yeah, I'm going with that. And just to double down on how bad this offense is and how bad the Warriors, how dire their situation was, Steve Kerr had to turn to his arch nemesis, Jonathan Kuminga, and actually give him some playing time and be like, here, we need some type of spark, we need some type of athleticism, we need you in the game right now. And so, I mean, this series, they lost it 4-1, and we're gonna talk about it whenever we talk about the Wolves, but it wasn't even a dominant performance. It wasn't a dominant 4-1 because Golden State, they could have won game 3.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, even last night, they had a very big lead. It got dwindled down into single digits as you get to the end of the game. They'd never put their foot on the Warriors' necks, and there was always an opportunity. And so you look at this entire series, and it is a massive what if because, again, if Steph was there, could they have gotten game 3? Are we going to a game 6 in a couple of days? He and his lifting and his gravity has done so much for this team throughout his entire tenure there, but it's never been felt more than when they didn't have it, and that was this entire postseason.
Yeah, this playoff run is just everything we know about Steph Curry. We know him to be a guy who, even when he has bad games, is going to rise others around him because of his style of play. We know he's going to be resilient, going to be efficient almost no matter what, even if the volume's down, which the volume wasn't even that down. He averaged 24, 6, and 6 against the Rockets. So pretty much just a great series all around. I don't think we have to do any caveats.
Yeah, I mean,
Jimmy Butler. How do you feel about Jimmy Butler in this series?
To finish off, before we turn the page to Jimmy Butler real quick, my final grade for Steph Curry is a B+. I agree with you guys when it comes to A overall. I'm taxing you, Joe, just a little bit for not being able to at least be on the court, bare minimum. But if you want to turn the page to Jimmy Butler, he absolutely cannot receive an A.
Nah.
Seeing how much he's either regressed, I don't want to say mentality-wise, but just overall.
His mental's weaker?
No, I'm not saying mentality-wise, but seeing how he's just not capable or not wanting to be capable to go out there and score 30 is jarring. I think this postseason was the first time. I don't know if he scored 20. I don't want to say he didn't score 25 once this postseason.
No, he did.
He did. He had some big games, and in the play-in, he did well in the last few games of the season. They're fighting for playoff positioning, which is
he had 20. He had over 25 twice in the Rocket series. But I'm with you though.
Yeah,
you saw it plenty of times, and they even noted it on the broadcast in game.
He had 33 in game 3. By the way.
In game 4.
Yeah,
where if you don't have Steph Curry, everybody knows that you are looking at this team and you are looking at Jimmy Butler as the primary offensive creator. Why do you only have 8 shots? This should have been a series. Jimmy Butler could have had 35 shot attempts a night, and I wouldn't have blinked because you look at everybody else and you're like, you can't make your own shot. You're the only person who really has an opportunity of doing that. And whether or not you think it's forcing or not, it's the Deion Waiters thing of I'd rather you go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9. I feel sick watching him go, 4 of 11 rather than 4 of 30.
Can we address the elephant in the room?
No,
his ass is broken.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, I know it's hard to play with when your booty hurts, but you have to step up and you have to take more shots because there were opportunities for him to take shots and it felt like he was trying to be very, very not even passive, but
he wanted to be a playmaker first and let the game come to him like he usually does. I understand, but I am willing to accept that the fact that his tailbone is probably cracked and he would probably be missing games if it wasn't the playoffs, I'm willing to accept that has something to do with it. It's hard to be aggressive, planting off your legs when you're a finishing physical scorer that really thrives on getting to the paint, drawing fouls, and being stronger than people. Mm-hmm. It's probably hard to do that when your lower body is compromised. So I'm not going to ding him too much for that. I'm not going to give an A. So I'm not going to say we didn't see playoff Jimmy by any means. He didn't necessarily rise all tides like we've seen him do in the past. But when we account for the injuries, there was the highs to go with the lows. I feel like B-, maybe C+. You want to be a little more pessimistic and not give him benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
that feels fine to me.
Yeah, I can't give him a C. Personally, I'd be comfortable laying in B simply because that injury was apparent. And before this injury, he did have plenty of games where he would get off his 27, 30. But also, like, he'd be super comfortable giving off 15 and 17 and being more of a facilitator, like you said, and empowering all the guys around him, like Pods and Moody and all that. So it's been disappointing. But again, he's going through injuries. But when old. He's been, yeah, of course, that you gotta add that onto it as well. But when it comes to him trying to maximize everything with what he's able to do, again, through the injury, I think he did okay. It's disappointing, but...
And I think defensively, he has been really good too. Like in both these series, they've given these young stars hell. Sengun has some really good spike games. We'll talk about him later. He has some rough games. Obviously, we know what happened to Jaylen Green. Anthony Edwards has been a bit of a mixed bag in the series. He's so good that he's found ways to provide value, but his rim scoring has been non-existent. And that's because the Warriors defense... they're not anchored by Rudy Gobert. It's because they have like 4 or 5 really smart, good defenders, things we talk about for a long time that makes it really hard to get down low on them. Jimmy's played a big part of that. I think he's been very good defensively.
Yeah. I'm giving him a C+. That's
fair. It's not crazy.
Yeah, I just think there were times that, again, you just want to see more shot attempts, a little bit more aggressiveness. And it's unfair to ask of playoff Jimmy and the version of playoff Jimmy where he's going to give you 50-point games, 40-point games, doing all of that. But I got to get just a little bit more, and I didn't see that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, again, I think it's because of the injury, but it's not crazy. I think that's within the range of being understandable.
I agree.
Let's go over to the Timberwolves. Sticking this series. Anthony Edwards, what are we giving him? Obviously, like I said, it's been up and down with him. There's been flashes of just insanity, like those couple games against the Lakers where he just tore them to shreds in the paint because he realized they have no bigs and I can get through every single play. And obviously, he shot really well. The three-point shot has been a little bit lower. I think he's shooting like 38% instead of 40% like he did in the regular season, but still a lethal weapon. But goddamn, Kevon Looney and Draymond Green are giving him hell at the rim. He shot, I didn't check the stats after last game, but before last game, he was shooting 51% at the rim. And I think I've seen him miss more layups than I've ever seen any human miss layups in my goddamn life. That's been there. But also the passing has been outrageous. That's been a big leap. So lots of good, some small dings. Where do we go overall?
I think overall I'm still giving him an A because in his playoff career so far, this is the best still that he's been going towards the rim. Although his efficiency is trash. I think it's at like 53% at the rim now. Which
after last game? Okay.
Yeah, which isn't still encouraging whatsoever.
It's horrible, actually.
But the three-point shooting and also the passing and the decision-making, which has been a huge issue for him in the past, has improved dramatically. And so for that, I'm just giving him an A still.
It's actually what a huge jump. It was 51% after last night's game. Now it's 56% actually.
Oh, wow.
So again, that's still not good. It's 66% in the regular season. Or no, 64 in the regular. Last playoffs, it was 66. Last regular season, 69. So he's capable of much better. His layup touch has been really off. That's kept him. That really kept the Warriors in some of these games. If Anthony Edwards had a better rim scoring playoff series, they would have really, really won these games with some command. So that is a thing. But bro, he had 11 assists last night. His playmaking has been outrageous from where he started, even the beginning of last year's playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going A-. The whole Wolves team as a whole, they've been unserious in a lot of these games where it's like you really should be winning this by like 35. But I can't. So, but I don't want to hold that too much against him. I think that he's done an amazing job realizing the moment. And there's times where, Julius Randle, who we're going to talk about, he's been hooping. He's been doing his thing, right? You've had Nasri games. You've had Jaden McDaniel games. But when you get to the third quarter of game 4, what happens? Anthony Edwards like, okay, I'm going to take over now. I'm going to go on a 12-0 run myself. I'm going to knock down 4 or 5 threes in the quarter. I'm going to do that. Oh, you're trying to double me. You're trying to get the ball out of my hands. I'm going to be patient now. Now I'm setting everybody else up. Figuring out what his team needs exactly when they need it and still allowing everybody else to eat. That's one of those developments that you normally see when people are like 25, 26. They've been in the playoffs for 5, 6 years now. That's happening now. And so we are like last year, the conversation was, is Anthony Edwards the best shooting guard in the league? That's cool. He has that now.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're talking about top 10, top 7, top 6. How high is he going on the list because of all the things that he's done this year? So I'm going A-.
Top 7 player in the world lock, I think.
Okay.
I think it's the top 5 guys that we know. Also, Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Luka, Tatum is your top 5. Get to number 6, you guys start talking about Ant.
I agree. He's directly in those conversations right afterwards. Seeing these, no one was talking about him like this to this degree for the entirety of the year. Of course, like we all knew he was top 10, but he was towards the back half of the top 10. Now he's like in the middle. He's directly in the middle of those conversations, and that's because of the leaps that we saw in that Lakers playoff series, and also, of course, like what we've seen through this Warriors playoff series as well. But more so the Lakers, him limiting those turnovers and just really like showcasing that he has grown as a decision maker and he plays with a completely different pace. I feel like his decision making now mimics his dribble. He's so good at decelerating and stopping and going. And now it seems like he reads the floor at that same exact pace. Have you ever seen someone talk shit after they made an elite pass? Never see that before.
That's him.
Anthony Edwards does that for no reason.
I also don't give a damn what he says. This is face of the league content right here. You know?
Definitely.
Whether you like it or not, buddy, you are the face of the league.
This is
or one of them.
This is an A-tier performance because I mentioned the areas where he struggled a little bit in the series, and he still dominated it through regardless. And I think one of the signs of being one of the best players in the world is even when your shot isn't falling, when you're struggling to finish at the rim. Look at his body's throwing him right here. It's crazy. You still finished it. But even when you're struggling in certain areas, you still control the game because you're so multifaceted that you can close out the series scoring less than 20 but having goddamn 12 assists. You can still be lethal from 3. You can succeed despite something's not falling your way. That's the sign of somebody who's a well-rounded star.
Dude, they went to the conference finals last year, shook the entire team up, added Julius Randle, and they're back in the Western Conference Finals.
And see, dumbasses like us were like, why would you do this? Because
not like, get me out of this conversation.
Because they simply made the bet that it won't matter. Ant is like that we can give him enough. And he'll make up for anything that happens and we'll make it work. He's played such a big part in making it work, as long as Julius Randle and them. Like, everything has gone well. The bet has gone precisely. We've talked about this at length about why we're wrong about them, so it's nothing new. But actually, let's talk about Randle now because
we should absolutely.
We all second half of the year came around to this trade. We saw it start off quite terribly. It was a Anthony Edwards offense and a Julius Randle offense to start the year. They didn't quite mesh. To be expected now that we look back when you have a new injection of talent that plays so differently than KAT. So the whole world overreacted. We acted like it was doom and gloom because it was so bad to start because we had never seen it be good, right? So naturally, as humans, we overreacted. Once they got their feet under them, once they figured out where they all want to be on the court, they switched their main offensive look to being Julius Randle as a screener and Rudy Gobert in the dunker spot, with Julius Randle focusing on the short roll passing to Gobert, taking advantage of his size down low, and obviously Anthony Edwards take a bigger jump shot approach to make up for that lack of spacing so he could provide the space. All these things worked well. We all said this is a good team, right? But the question was still in the air. What version of Julius Randle will come out in the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Whether it be fair or not, everybody has their reservations because he's only been there a few times and he has not performed up to his regular season standards in those games.
Yeah.
He shut all that shit down. He performed amazing in the series.
This is the best version of Julius Randle that we've ever seen, like, period. Through his All-NBA years, through his All-Star years, like, this version right here is peak Julius Randle. I think this is one of my biggest personal W's that I've had on this show this year, because when this trade initially happened, I was high on the peak of it happening, which is like the Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, and all that, like, sufficing the shooting that they were missing out when it comes to Karl-Anthony Towns. One thing that none of us were able to see is Anthony Edwards being the true answer for that shooting gap. But seeing how Julius Randle's impact defensively kind of is so much different from what they were last year. They were a defensive team last year, still are this year. It just looks more different and it's more scalable, like the word that we like to say, scalable, for the sake of him being more mobile and being able to move his hips in a certain way that someone like Karl-Anthony Towns just isn't able to do.
You know what's funny looking back and just like examining our own biases? Whenever this trade happened, we didn't like it because we saw them figure it out with KAT and they reached such a high level. And I think we viewed KAT as a good long-term partner for Anthony Edwards because slashing guard, spacing big. You don't want to break that up, right? And it was, you just succeeded so well. Why break it up now? So we had that in our heads. A year before that, we hated the Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert fit because they're two bigs that don't make sense naturally, but they figured it out. when they make the trade for Randle, obviously we had reasons to doubt it that weren't entirely flawed, but we just pretended like the KAT thing is a perfect fit. They succeeded in spite of the fit. This is a much more natural fit, and they got past the weaknesses at the start of the season like we talked about, and they found a way to maximize Randle and maximize Gobert together. It is so much more natural to have a power forward next to Gobert than two centers. It's worked out precisely as you could have hoped as the Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Timberwolves, and they've never been a franchise that gets goodwill whenever they make wild moves.
That's fair.
And so for them to finally have the first bit of like actual tangible success that they've had, I guess 2017, you have the Jimmy Butler stuff, even that came crashing down. So really, since 2004, since the KG stuff, this is the first time where it actually felt real. And then as soon as you get there, you blow it up. It's like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're moving kind of wild. So I think a lot of that on a lot of the, like pushback on it from that perspective was you're the Timberwolves and you have a little bit too much dip on your chip. For Julius Randle, I was up last night I was going through my camera. I was looking at old pictures. I was like, man, I miss him. And I'm
Good for him.
Exactly. I was just very proud and very happy for Julius Randle because the two playoff runs that everyone likes to point to, he was hurt. Like he was
hurt in one and miscast as one option in the other.
So in the first playoff series with the Knicks, he shot 30% from the field. His second one, which he was hurt again, also 37% from the field.
Yeah, so he was going through some stuff, and for him, for a lot of players, if you're injured and you're out there, you still are going to be held to a certain standard, and that's kind of what happened with Randle. But so I never necessarily thought that he was like a bad postseason player, but the thing that I thought that really switched halfway through, we've talked about it before, is just his attitude and his demeanor, because you can tell when he's locked in. You can tell when he's bought in. And the fact that they were able to actually get that buy-in, that is hands down for them. So Anthony Edwards, A minus. Julius Randle is A plus.
Astounding.
Yeah. Good for him. And like, so this might be more about Draymond Green and his maybe slight regression. Back a few years ago, this would have been a series where you say Draymond Green's gonna lock that bully ball shit up. He's a perfect defender for this. Not this year. Julius Randle had his way. Draymond Green was not able to slow him down. Just an excellent performance from Randle. I'm excited to see in the next round. I'm excited to see if they face the Nuggets. I think obviously we would probably got to favor the Timberwolves. They've had the number for a while. If they face the Thunder, my God, it's going to be a war. I cannot wait.
If they, we'll say. Wait, so for Draymond, what are you guys giving this?
I'm not grading Draymond as a star anymore. We don't got to do this.
I can't.
But Rudy Gobert.
How do you feel though? Because we don't have to give it a grade, but like moving forward with Draymond, do you still feel, I guess, a level of confidence?
Yeah, I feel good about him. It's hard to grade him when you don't have his lead guy,
Draymond's old at this point. Everything that was said about him is not being able to succeed without Curry. That shit is damn sure true now when he's 35. So I take away nothing from his performance without Curry.
You want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
Julius Randle's nickname on Basketball Reference, I didn't know this, is Don Julio.
Nice.
Insane.
Okay.
Nice.
Sick. Rudy Gobert, I'm also giving an A. A's all around for the Timberwolves. I think Rudy, you guys know I'm a big Rudy Gobert defender, always have been. I always got to hear the dumb shit every start of the playoffs. He's going to get played off the floor. He can't hang defensively in the playoffs. It's always been BS. Obviously, he held up amazingly defensively. Like he does 99% of the time. But offensively, he tore the Lakers to shreds. And even in this series, he had some effective games.
Bro, talk about Rudy Gobert in the closing games that he's had, bro. He put up 27 and 25 or whatever it was against the Lakers. Yeah. And then this past game, he put up 17.
This is no coincidence. In the second half of the season, really the last 15 games, Rudy Gobert had the best scoring stretch of his entire career. And that's because what I mentioned. They switched to Julius Randle as a pick and roll threat and parked Rudy Gobert in the dunker spot and said, they're going to have to help on Randle because they're going to have to put 2 on the ball on Anthony Edwards every time. Randle's going to roll down. They're not going to let him dunk. We're going to dump it off to you every time. You're going to be a beast as a lob catcher, as an offensive rebounder. You're essentially going to be a one-man zone on offense where you're going to be down there the whole time and just be gigantic. And he has excelled at that. He has been a force down low. It's so much better of a way to use him than as a pick and roll big where he has the terrible hands to drop inside passes against rolls, doesn't have the passing chops. Now he has to be large and dunk the ball, and he's done such a good job at that. He's having legit offensive value. There is times whenever the offensive lack of touch comes out and you see him still suck at that. But overall, they found a really smart way to use him. A's all around.
Good job. Defend your mans. Defend your mans.
I agree. AR.
I'm not speaking on it.
Yeah, you better not. I want to take a quick second to shout out Coinbase for sponsoring this episode of the show. Coinbase is not only the best and easiest place to get started with crypto, it's also the most trusted. It's the only publicly traded crypto exchange, and right now, if you want to get started and try it out, you can get $20 or free Bitcoin when you sign up with the link in the description or use promo code 20deep3. So once again, shout out to Coinbase for coming on to the show with us this episode. Let's get you right back to the show. We can move on to the next. Let's move on to the Rockets guys. Let's talk about the guys that the Warriors eliminated. What are we grading Alperen Sengun in his first playoff run?
I'm giving Alperen Sengun an easy A as well. I think this playoff
Easy
run,
A?
Yeah, it's easy way. Easy A for
Go
me personally because I was skeptical about how he would translate into playoff basketball, and seeing him raise his standard. Like, his standard for me personally was a little lower, and I didn't know how he would react to such a defense like the Golden State Warriors. And seeing him, although like there's the infamous play, I think it was game 5 or 6, and where he was isoing against Draymond Green. It's Draymond Green. No one was going to call a foul at the end of that game. But seeing how he stood on business and maintained his offensive game and all the ancillary skills that he has, which is like whether it be the post up or the face up game, or whether it be like that one shot, I don't know if to call it floater or push shot, whatever it is, like he has that to his game coming to works. Makes me feel really good about him in his future in the postseason and continue to do damage as a star player. He was that dude for the Rockets, and I wasn't sure whether or not he was going to be able to maintain that status.
I'll give him a B. I think defensively, very impressive. I think he held up well. That's obviously always been the question with Sengun. And in the regular season, he had already shut that up. He already had a great regular season defensive year. Obviously, you got to see what it looks like in the playoffs against a good offense. And he held up well there. I honestly feel better about his defense now than I do his offense, which is crazy. Like, he's completely flipped. I think he is perfectly fine defensively. I have no issues. Offensively, I think, so he had 2 great games. He scored 26 and 31 in game 1 and game 4. And in those games, he looked like a goddamn beast. I was like, okay, that's the all-star selection right there. The games between, there was, you saw the sometimes limitations. He only had a 46% effective field goal percentage for the series.
Don't tell me that.
That's pretty horrible for a 7-footer that doesn't shoot the ball. So that's pretty terrible.
He is not 7 feet.
6'10", whatever. But for a big man who doesn't have an outside shot, that's goddamn horrendous. But the offensive infrastructure is obviously terrible for the Rockets. So he has to get shots up, and that's a chuck. So we understand that he'd be more efficient if he was elsewhere and in a better system that doesn't say go be superhero with we're going to rely on offensive rebounds because we know you can't score one-on-one, and neither can these guys consistently. So context understood. That's why he's so inefficient. But I think you did see the limitations of him not having an outside shot, how they had to be so reliant on the volleyball system with Steven Adams getting rebounds. I wasn't like, I think there was good signs that we know he can get his scoring game off and have these flashes, but it was also like, the offense isn't good still. He still has to develop the outside shot. We would still like to get other creators in there so we don't have to be so reliant on him. I think defensively A, offensively B-. So I'll give him a B overall.
Okay. I feel the same way. Maybe C+.
The flashes are too good for that for me.
Offensively, maybe C+. Just because the stuff that we've talked about for the last year and a half, where it's kind of flipped in terms of his game. And it's like, yo, why can't you make layups? And you go into these final games, and he's getting opportunities. Granted, he's going up against Draymond Green, but he's not going up against Draymond every single play, right? All of those layups were not on him. And so there's a lot of opportunities where he's right there at the rim. He could turn, and he showed you that he's skilled enough to get into those positions, and he just wasn't finishing well. Yeah. And so, yes, he's going up against a tough defense. Yes, the offense isn't amazing. It's also kind of damning that like our best strategy is to have somebody else here to pick up your misses, because we know that that's going to happen a lot. And so I want to see a little bit more. Also, the free throw shooting was also really, really weird. Like,
that was
just
62% for the series.
The Rockets as a whole left so many points on the floor because they couldn't knock down free throws. And so that's another area where it's your touch has to be there. And it just wasn't. So I'm giving him like C+.
Granted,
you could talk me into B-, right? Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but I'm going to probably C+.
You're being a little harsh just because he really has no fucking help. Like, he really has no help at all. Like, Jalen Green, where are you? Milk carton, good God. But You're right. I mean, the last 2 games, he shot 44% from 2 and 36% from 2. So we saw the up and down, the limitations, the strengths. Like, he is still a flawed player offensively, and whenever those strengths really show, he has those spike games. But if he's not getting the game off quite as much, they're defending him well. You see that the counters aren't quite there. He doesn't have the off-ball shooting, the pick and roll finishing, the type of stuff that players of other body types, other play styles would have to like give them a high floor. But he also doesn't have the help to get the high floor.
Yeah,
so
You're
exactly.
right.
It's a mix of both.
I'll update it. I'll give him a B+ because what I did see, he got that dog.
He does have dog.
He has dog in him.
His mindset,
yes,
on 1,000.
And so for this team that is very that is, you know, obviously anchored by their defense, you know how Ime wants to play. Having your best players, and especially going into an offseason where you don't really know who's going to be there, having that mentality and that anchor and that player on your team who, you know, if anything goes down, at least we have him. He's not scared of anything. That actually means a lot in the playoffs and in these series. So I'm shout out to you and your dog, Sengun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna absolutely hate on the C selection for you, but me personally, again, the dog.
No, I just upgraded it because of the dog.
Okay. Oh. Shout out
Shout
to
out the
the
dog.
dog.
It's the dog factor.
Okay, let's talk about the team that the Wolves eliminated in the first round, the Lakers. Obviously, we have Luka and we have LeBron. Much was made of Luka's defense and the downfalls of that. I think that, to me, we talked about this, it's much more about the fact that there's no rim protectors, no good defenders around him. He's not insulated at all. So he's not a good defender, clearly, but I think the degree to which that like sinks you is a bit exasperated by being in the worst goddamn defensive infrastructure you can imagine for that. So I don't dig him too much for that. Offensively, he got his scoring off. That was pretty much fine. He had some good games, some slower games. Passing-wise, the Timberwolves did the exact same strategy the Celtics did to slow down his impact as a passer. They said, you're going to have to win one-on-one, isolate every single time. We're not helping. We're not giving you those skip passes. They had no counters for that as a team. So we saw a decent scoring output, only 5.8 assists. It was 5.9 in the finals last year. So same type of thing. That's his floor. And bad defense. What do we grade this for Luka?
Another thing to add on top of that too, something that stuck out like a sore thumb for Luka in his game or his series against the Lakers is that this was the lowest amount of touches that he was able to get into the paint. This is his rim scoring like plummeted. This is the lowest in his career, in his playoff career. And so I'm heavily noting that as well. And like you said, like because they made him play a lot of like one-on-one ISO ball, he hit the toughest shots in the world. And of course he's going to make a good amount of them. But I'm noticing that drop off as well. I think that's more so a product of what the Timberwolves game plan.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm still giving him an A.
His standard's too high for it.
We've
We've seen him be a god. We have to grade everybody to their standard. We've seen him be one of the best playoff risers, destroying teams. I'll give him
my
a B.
bad. I give him a B+.
I'll give him a B straight up. I think his rim scoring was actually something that I wasn't terribly upset with his rim scoring. He got there 21% of his shots in 2022 playoffs. They made the conference finals was 22%. So similar amounts overall. And he did shoot 71% there for the series, which when he first got in the Lakers uniform, my God, he had no rim pressure at all. We saw that pick up towards the end of the season. I think he looked decent there. But like you said, the Wolves made that very difficult. So I think the efficiency there, despite how difficult it was, I feel good about that overall. It's just hard to grade him when the team was so ill-equipped to make his strength shine.
I'll go B-. I think, yeah,
Wow.
as somebody who severely overrated the Lakers coming into that series, you saw very quickly that they were outmatched.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's like, you know what? On to next year, just show me something. And the very, very high level of Luka and the level that he can get to that is over a lot of other people is his shot making.
Yes.
And his tough shot making. And can you show me the ability that when it's one-on-one, if you have any other defender, it's just not going to matter and you're going to be able to make something happen? That's still there. And
For sure.
so I feel good about Luka going into next year. And I feel good, especially if the Lakers are able to go out and get a vertical threat for him and get that release to where you can get the full aspect of his game.
Oh, you mean like Mark Williams?
Yeah, in that range.
Something like that. I wish that was available.
Yeah, if they could get someone, like the Mark Williams of the world and stuff
naturally.
like that. then it could make it work. But
Stealing
so
my
he's
bag.
fine. He's fine.
Swagger jacking. Yeah, he had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 5.8 assists.
Can't pay homage no more. Like
I know, right? Nobody wants to have legacy. Nobody wants to have influence.
it's always just swagger jacking.
But yeah, 71% at the rim, 34% from three. I think we saw the games when they almost won, when they lost in the fourth quarter and they were there. It was largely because Luka had crazy shot making runs and kept them in the game.
Yeah.
So you saw he can do that. It was just, I don't know, so much is going to be made. He's going to get so slandered, which comes with the territory.
It's not is everything's not his fault that other people were pissing down their legs.
Yeah, but like the slander comes to the territory. So I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize him, call him a cone, whatever you want. That happens when you lose in the first round as a star of his magnitude. But you really cannot exaggerate just how much the house of cards that is the Lakers supporting cast fell apart around him. Like every flaw they had that made it so when the trade happened, we said this doesn't make sense, but they succeeded in spite of it. And we're like, maybe they'll keep going. No, they didn't keep going. Every flaw in the roster shined in the series. Like he truly had no infrastructure to make him look good.
It's terrible.
What are you grading LeBron? What are you grading your king, your 40-year-old king, who had a pretty solid playoff run? 25, 9-5, 45.5 effective field goal percentage, 2 steals and 1.8 blocks.
Yeah, he was fantastic defensively. He led the league in the playoffs in fast break points and also second chance points as well. He was hustling.
He was hustling for sure.
His scoring was a little bit inconsistent, but with all that being said, I think he still performed to 40-year-old LeBron standards for sure. I can't just say LeBron standards anymore because those things are nerfed a little bit. But I think he filled in his role pretty well. Offensively, I wish he was able to get his back off a little bit more. I think he snuck in like a random 38-point game or something like that. And he took like 19 or 20 free throws.
Nice.
So I feel pretty good about giving him a B.
Yeah, I was going to say B+, maybe A-. Defensively, he's the only reason these games weren't 4 straight blowouts.
Mm-hmm.
He carried so much of the load defensively. You know how hard it is to ask this 40-year-old guy who has to also give you 25 points and 5 assists to go out there and be your only low-man defender when we're going to have DFS and Rui out there. LeBron, you're the center, essentially. You're going to be the weak side shot blocker. You're in charge of rebounding more than anybody. You have to do all the dirty work, have the entire interior presence. That's you, Mr. Old Man. And he's like, bet, I'll do that. And I'll also lead the league in transition points scored. I'll also run a lot. That's a lot to ask for. And I think similar to Luka, he didn't have a great infrastructure. Everything collapsed when the Timberwolves made all their weaknesses shine. He did about as much as I could hope for.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. B+, I like that.
But we also see that the days of him being this elite scorer are cooked. Like the lineups without Luka and he's the main scoring option don't create good offense anymore. So good and bad, that's just what we're going to take away forever, I think.
He had one game where he gave everything that he could in that game 3. And you saw LeBron try to do absolutely everything he was going for because he tried to get him up 2-1 and they couldn't capitalize. They go down 2-1 and at that point you're playing from behind. And everywhere else, his 3-point shooting in this series
It wasn't bad.
1 for 5 had a 5 for 9 game in game 3, 2 for 4, 1 for 5. He shot 33% for the series.
Not terrible.
But the one game really,
It's not terrible.
33%.
the one game really carried the percentage.
Yeah.
I wrote down 35. I guess maybe I missaw it. But either way, that one game really carried the percentage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't a consistent shot making performance. But how could it be when he has to be the entire defense essentially? Yeah, everything around Luka and LeBron is horrible, and they got to recreate this entire roster to make sense. But I feel like the only things you can take away is they were fine. Everybody else, the coach, the supporting cast, the third star, the wings, the GM, everybody else gets criticism.
Yeah, I agree.
I go B- for Brown.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. Again, the lineups led by him offensively, the age really shines there, and that's a problem forever.
You know when he shined the most, and you called it out. Game 2, Luka's doing this thing. He's trying to embarrass Rudy Gobert.
Oh my God, bro.
And LeBron's like, all right, I get to embarrass Rudy too.
He thought he could do it too.
And he can't blow by him.
Yeah.
Bro. He can't do it.
And I think it resulted in a couple step back contested 2-pointers.
I don't know if
But
he can blow by
missed.
JJ Redick these days. The days of one-on-one mismatch hunting against bigs for LeBron, those days are done. You got to let that go.
Yeah, and so offensively, especially as we go into what's going to be year 23, year 22,
Damn.
whatever it is, and it's gonna be a whole nother year of how can you ask this 41-year-old man to do all of this? and it's gonna get worse than this. You're gonna see a lot more inconsistencies than what you're seeing right now.
All I know is I was berated for saying he's not a top 10 player anymore.
He still was. He played like a top 10 player.
All right.
In the playoffs. For
All
sure.
right.
No, he didn't.
He could be a top 15 player. It's okay.
Maybe. It's debatable.
All right. Not
Let's
too much.
relax.
Not too much.
It's debatable.
It is, but relax. We don't got to point it out. We can temper it a little bit.
You brought it up.
I'm
just agreeing.
What's the next series you want to grade?
Let's move over to another series that recently ended.
Top 20?
Oh my God. Cavs versus Indiana Pacers.
Can you grade people on Indiana first, please?
Yes. Tyrese Haliburton. Fucking spoiler alert. A+. If we could give Harden an A+, Tyrese Haliburton has to be currently the highest graded star in these playoffs, I think.
Easily.
Not to say he's been the best, but we're grading, what they bring to their team, how they performed, expectations to outcome. Tyrese is easily
heavy on expectations. Of course, like we all knew Tyrese Haliburton started off the year super slow. That progressed into him doing what he did, he was able to stabilize the season, and now to the point to where he's looking like a top, 3-4 point guard that the association has to offer, and seeing how he doesn't have to get off like 30 points or 25 points. He could average a cool 8, but he's still impacting the game just as much. He's an astounding A+ to me.
Some hotel beds, they're not hurting his back anymore.
No, he figured it out. He adapted.
Yeah.
So he obviously the playmaking has been outrageous. Everything that makes the Pacers good has been excellent. The entire approach of his playmaking style to make fast decisions, put his team and all the players around him in a position to succeed, to attack with advantages, to say, I don't got to run a pick and roll every time and create you an open shot. I'm going to draw help, hit it to you so you can attack from a point of advantage and you create your open shot. That whole ethos of what makes the Pacers offense run, everybody touches the ball, but Tyrese makes it so you touch the ball a lot easier than you would if you were creating off your own approach, worked excellently. They've been blowing teams out the door with that approach. So we know the playmaking has held up. This man shot 60% from 2 in both series, the first round and against the Cavs, and 45% from 3 against the Cavs. Obviously, that also came with a game winner. He's just been dicing everybody up. It's been amazing. They might make the finals. And who would have expected the Pacers to make the finals? Like, we'll talk about the Cavs situation. They blitzed the Cavaliers. Obviously, there's a lot of caveats there with the health and everything. But before the series, we said the Pacers have a chance, that the Cavs have to be serious. You can't fuck around with the Pacers. You got to play your A game, that the Pacers will be in it, and you have to really perform, no choking. Otherwise, they're going to punch you in the mouth. It was even further than that. The Pacers punched them in the mouth. It was the other way around.
I told y'all.
It was crazy.
I told you, yeah, I was on that wave, and I am taking that. I'm taking that dub.
I don't remember you saying that, but okay, I believe you.
Everything that you just said, I was the one who was saying it, and y'all were like, "Oh no, Cleveland's gonna come in."
Yeah,
and,
I did say. I remember vividly that the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Indiana Pacers weren't going to win this series unless Donovan Mitchell's leg fell off, and
everybody's
players
leg
did,
yeah.
and his leg eventually.
I don't think I said it so definitively though. I think I said that I'm picking the Cavs for sure. Like they're the fucking Cavs. I'm definitely picking the Cavs. But I said you have to perform because the Pacers are a team that if you don't perform at your A level, they can upset you. They're going to make every game difficult. And I picked the Cavs, but that was under the impression that they were healthy. And again, full respect to the Pacers. Didn't expect them to win, but we knew you had to be 100% to beat them. The Cavs were not 100%.
Yeah, healthy or not, they did still pose like major issues, like one-on-one matchup wise, to plenty of guys on the Cavs roster specifically. Like we seen Ty Jerome, he was on the up and up over the course of the year. He was going to get paid a bag over the course of the year. He had a famous moment earlier in the season. I think he was talking trash to Paolo Banchero, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'll start on your team." He might still do that, but regardless of the fact, like,
but he did
off
lose
a
some
little
money.
bit.
Miles Turner gave Jared Allen the work.
That's the biggest one that I wanted to talk about
kicked his
too, bro.
ass.
He was embarrassed by Miles Turner.
Once again, were the lights too bright?
Let's talk about the Cavs. So Jared Allen didn't play well, and so the other stars, Donovan Mitchell, we'll grade him first. That's easy.
A+.
We'll give him an A+. He obviously got hurt as well, but before he got hurt, he was putting up valiant scoring efforts, keeping them in the series. In the first round, in the beginning of the second round, before everyone got hurt, he was looking so spry. The idea of giving him lower minutes throughout the regular season to kind of save him for the playoffs worked amazingly. He looked like the fastest guy on the court every play. He was generating rim pressure over and over, something he didn't do in the regular season. We were kind of concerned. He answered that because his legs were fresh, looked amazing. Then he gets hurt, hobbles through the last 2 games. Obviously, scores a lot worse when he's playing through injury. Darius Garland, once again, played bad. because he is playing through injury and trying to gut it out and be brave, but he is clearly not 100%. Bro, the last game he was hobbling. He was physically walking around limping and trying to play through it. It was crazy.
Yeah, there was plenty of times where you're like, they would be better off with him not on the floor right now.
Yeah, like salute you trying to tough it out 2 years in a row. That has to be draining to have to deal with 2 years in a row. Your team is amazing and your body just gives up on you. So I don't even know how to grade that. Like it's like a DMP. Like you don't even get a grade because you literally
He doesn't. He missed several. What did he miss? He missed game 1 and game 2 in this series. He missed games in the Miami series as well. So it's like you played half the time. I'm not giving him
if it was
a grade.
regular season, he wouldn't have played at all. Like they would have held him out. He came back to try to fight through it to save the season. Didn't work. You can tell that he would have been out for several weeks if it was a regular season.
Now, your man who did play was Jared Allen. F?
Is he a star? Should we grade Jared Allen? I don't know.
He
made it all star.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, out of
F for sure.
like, the Cavs are built on 4 guys. Garland wasn't there. Mobley missed the game, but he was, there for 4 of the 5 games, whatever. And then, but Allen was there consistently. So I'm just saying, like, in their core, I guess he's a star. I don't know if you guys want to grade him or not, but you're right. He got dominated, and it was just not. It was not a pretty sight. And so now you're looking at the Cavs team again going into the offseason saying, is it viable to have both of these guys on the roster? And is there, like, if you're going to make a tweak, it's very clear.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's very clear what the tweak is at this point.
You say that. Again, Jared Allen didn't have his point guard and his shooting guard got hobbled towards the end. So he didn't play well. That's probably part of it offensively, but he got diced up defensively with Miles Turner. He was kicking his ass. So there's that. If I'm going to decide to make a shakeup, I agree it's that. Mostly because I want to put Evan Mobley in the best position to succeed as a scorer. Bro, he didn't take more than 13 field goal attempts in a single game of the series.
That's insane.
He was not a focal point as a scorer in this series. Now, part of that is definitely how the Pacers guarded him. They made that difficult. They didn't want him to attack. Part of it is probably him and passivity, not looking to score. Part of it is the guards kind of getting into... They were taking what the Pacers were giving them. They wanted these hobble guards to attack us and beat us one-on-one, not let you get in rotation. Top down, the effort needed to establish Mobley as a scorer wasn't there. That was one of the biggest drop-offs from regular season to playoffs. I want to see Mobley be a center because it's a lot harder to neutralize him as a scorer when he's attacking 5s than when he's a 4 next to another 5 and the spacing isn't great. I think you have to go into next year with him as a center.
I agree. I think seeing what Jared Allen showcased this year, a lot of people would see the Cleveland Cavaliers' failure and for good reason, we just want to win it back with the same roster. But me personally, I'm 100% on your side. I think it's time to move on for someone like Jared Allen. Use his value and use that juice, boost it up elsewhere on your roster to fully unlock Evan Mobley. And I think this will take this team to a different level. Of course, we all knew throughout the regular season, like, yeah, this is one of the teams to beat. They're fully in the Boston Celtics, OKC, and whoever else you want to throw in those conversations. But we all know that they were like, not on the Celtics level necessarily or OKC's. They're very much like the third team.
I don't know about that. I think at their peak, they were on that level, but we had reservations because the Celtics are reigning champs. But I think I wouldn't revise it that much. They deserve to be in that top 3. We refer to it as there's 3 contenders in the league.
There are 2.
They were firmly in. You can quibble. You can say they're third, but they were in that tier. They have expectations of being in that tier. That's why I say that.
Right.
And I just really wish, everyone's gonna call them frauds now, saying they were regular season demons,
2015
Hawks, etc. I get it. Get your jokes off. It comes to territory, like I said. I just really wish we could have seen them actually go outside at full health so we could actually have that ammo. Because now I'm like, maybe they are. There's some things that weren't health related. They played poorly.
Is blowing a 19-point lead at home not enough for going outside?
Again, we talked about this in the stream. Yes, they didn't perform well. They lost in the second round. You can't lose in the second round when you're a 64-win team.
I'm not even talking about the series.
You're missing 2.
I'm talking about game 5 specifically.
I don't care. You keep hobbling on that. I don't care. They have 3 injured all-stars. Dude, it's like, how do you gauge anybody when they have 3 all-star level players injured, one of which is completely useless, other one misses games, but he comes back. I think we can say Mobley's probably healthy, I guess. I don't know. And then Mitch obviously hobbles to the end. Even if you just miss one in Garland, who was completely useless, that completely transforms your team. He's hugely important for them. 2 other all-stars not fully healthy. Like,
can you imagine what OKC would look like without Chet, J-Dub, and I don't know, maybe
they've done it in certain parts throughout the season, and they still won
all of those guys, though?
Yeah,
3 of those guys at the same time?
They wouldn't have won their series if they were dealing with that right now.
It's over. It's clipped for anything.
And the Pacers are playing at a crazy level. Like I said, you cannot mess around with them. You have to be 100%. Like, yes, they didn't perform. You give them criticism. I just wish we saw them underperform while they're a whole so we can have definitive takeaways. Because now, even if someone like us wants to be like, trade Jared Allen, yada, yada, we can still say we didn't see them 100%. So maybe it's worthwhile to try it again because they weren't just slightly hobbled. They were a completely different team missing a substantial amount of star power. Yeah. It's like you can't just ignore that and say results are the results. Like the context is, damn, they had very little chance.
Results mattered a little bit to me, though. They're
not irrelevant.
Not even a little bit. They do matter to me. And I do think that, like, seeing the way that people go out is very, very important. And, like, D-Mitch, no doubt in my mind, that's a dog right there, right? That is a dog. Mm-hmm. Everybody else on that team, we're going to have to do some soul searching. I'm going to have to do some reevaluating. And so if you get moved preemptively, like
them to boot camps,
maybe.
And I don't mean to say like absolve them of everything. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's so much context in this now that the takeaways are muddied because of this. That like, do you like if Garland had played a full series and stunk it up, you could be like, okay, you don't fit, but his back doesn't work. He's walking around hobbled. Mobley, is your aggression part of it not being so high because you're injured? I don't know. Like, there's just so much question marks that I don't feel comfortable making like super strong takeaways.
Other than on Jared Allen.
Even
you can make a strong takeaway from him.
So you can make some of a takeaway. I'm not going to act like losing your point guard doesn't matter for a center. Like, you know, he didn't defend well, but the fit overall is really contingent on the
that's
movie,
the calling card for Jared Allen, though. You obviously you would love if you can get some points out of Jared Allen. You've seen his offensive game grow. If Jared Allen scored 0 points and just defended well, you'd be like, "Hey, good game, Jared." Sure. Like that's what he's there to do. And so if you're not doing that, yes, we're gonna have to have some combos.
That's fair. I'm just saying there's cascading effects from the top down when you miss that much of your team that it affects everybody. So you can't look at anything just the result. That again, maybe the answer is you got to blow some shit up. Like you still lost, but it's a little more complicated. And I'm just annoyed that it's this complicated.
Yeah, I agree.
No, they weren't sad. That was
fuck all that.
No, it was just pathetic.
Everything was sad, man.
No, that a lot of game. They lost by so many points. So I get it. I'm not here to say it was nothing.
They were up 19. We went to go get dinner, got a couple slices, came back, and the game was tied. And we're like, "Yo, what just happened?"
No, I get it. Yeah. Whew. All right, let's talk about what teams they eliminate in the first rounds. So we've seen a couple Heat fans in our comments keep laughing, or not laughing, they keep getting mad because we don't talk about the Heat because we've had a couple playoff-centered episodes.
Dog, y'all suck.
Brother, yeah. Bam Adebayo took 5 threes a game in the postseason against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay. Why is Bam taking 5 threes a game?
Despite you guys, I'm going to not talk about the Heat again. Mo, ISO, F. Grade Bam, grade Tyler Herro.
Resounding F. 5 threes a game, 43% from the field. You are a big man. You are a center. I don't know what's going on. I understand he's trying to expand in his game, and hey, it's a modern NBA. That's just how things are going. But 5 threes a game, F.
I'm not talking about them. They suck.
I'm doing it as a spite now because you guys don't find it understandable that I don't want to talk about the Heat.
Well, actually, you do have to understand why we don't talk about you guys. like I understand you're a fan and you care a lot. But have some common sense because your team traded away your star player midway. You guys limped into the 10 seed and got in because of this bogus play-in tournament. You shouldn't even have had the opportunity to get the 8 seed. And then you got boat raced for a week and a half. Everybody, the Heat Cavs series was nap time for everybody to prepare for the second and third game of the night.
It's the biggest point differential in a playoff series ever. So like you can't get your ass whooped much more than that, than the worst ever.
they did 1, 2, 3 Cancun in game 3.
Yeah. Historical levels of ass whooping. But I mean, for this conversation, for the grading the stars, they don't have any. I mean, Tyler Herro made an all-star team. Bam, obviously we respect Bam. Neither of which are playing at a star level right now. They're a team without stars that found a way to get in, like you said, without Jimmy. But these guys are just playing like outside of the roles they should be. They both need to slot down, and it's nobody's in a position for them that makes sense to judge them.
Exactly. They play like they're missing a star player or two on their roster, bro. And it feels like they were just over-assed and over-assed.
We've said too much.
I should have shut up like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, fuck out of here. The Bucks. So obviously we just do Giannis because Dame, RIP, leg blew up immediately.
Giannis deserves no lower than an A.
Yeah, A.
It's A+.
Yeah, and everybody's made it because again we talked about in the beginning of the show that a big theme here. We'll get to some of these stars later. Is how much everybody's efficiency is dropping because of the increased physicality. And everyone's like, Not the Greek guy. Doesn't matter for him. He is a demon. He still got the 61% effective field goal percentage. Still got his game off exactly the same. Is he best in the world now? Mm-hmm. People are trying to give him best in the world after losing the first round. And I understand it. He's resilient. The playoff levels are still there. I will say the Pacers have nobody for him physically, and they said we're going to let you score and not help off much, and we're going to make sure everybody else gets clamped. So,
and you know what? Shout out to you, because some people are given that opportunity and can't capitalize on it. And Giannis said, you know what? He said, one-on-one? Thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
Say less.
I'm just going to go ahead and do what I do, and it's not my fault that everybody else is playing the worst basketball of their career. So,
well, it's KPJ, it's Kuzma, it's typical basketball of their career, I'd say. They played to their standards.
That's outrageous slander.
That is.
I have no problem outrageously slandering Kevin Porter Jr.
It's not even slander. You're being real, to be honest with you.
That's actually not true. I was going to Rockets games when KPJ was on there. That was some of the worst basketball.
Okay.
There's a lot of players. There's a lot of humans in the NBA I'll give grace to. Kevin Porter's not one of them.
Seeing his Rockets tenure in person was some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen. It was disgusting.
Can you believe that was a Rockets score at one point in time?
Bro,
they had him in SGA debates.
It was him and Jalen Green together.
Ooh, man.
Well, okay.
Was Stephen Silas coming?
Yeah. So shout out Giannis. The game plan was to let him score to some degree. Not let him score, but they didn't throw the exotic coverages at him that like the Thunder are throwing at Jokic or that the Nuggets are throwing at Shea. So Giannis did what he's supposed to do. He played to his MVP level. Shout out him.
Exactly. A+.
A+. He did all he can. He had absolutely no help. It was egregious. He played to his standard and didn't dip at all.
Yes.
I agree. 100%. This series, I think he put up he shot like 20. I think he scored like 20 or 22 points in the paint, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that's something that he does in the regular season. But seeing an uptick like that is just insane.
Okay. Celtics versus Knicks. Donovan, what are you grading Jalen Brunson? We'll start with the Knicks.
I mean, he's been A+. Like, actually, not A+, A-. Because there's been some games that haven't been amazing, but the entire run, the Knicks' entire game plan has basically come down to let's just keep it close until the last 5 to 3 minutes, and Brunson is going to carry us, and he's done that every time he's had the opportunity. And if the game is on TNT, I promise you Reggie Miller is going to let you know that he won Clutch Player of the Year. Yeah. And so he's going he's dominated in those moments. And in a series and a team where KAT's offense is inconsistent, you don't know what you're going to get on, especially in the Boston series from OG Anunoby. Mikal Bridges, some nights he's amazing. Some nights he's just, around. Their one constant has been Jalen Brunson and his scoring and his shot making. And he's had game 4 of this Knicks Celtics series, one of the best games Jalen Brunson has ever played. The shot making was insane. You talk about a game in Detroit. He goes out in the fourth quarter or in the late third. They, try to break his leg, try to break his ankle.
All right.
He comes back, scores 16 in the fourth. They end up winning that game. He always rises to the occasion and rarely has a bad game. I'm giving him an A-.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I personally give him an A+ because his job is ridiculously hard. You ask him a 6 foot, people say he's 6'1", 6'2". Really feels like he's 6 foot guy to come out.
He might be 5'11".
And put up 30
Everyone makes
points
him
a night.
shorter every week.
I mean, shit, people are just
Have you seen that picture Kenny's always tweeting whenever they were together?
Exactly.
He's not that much taller than Kenny, and Kenny's 5'7".
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So to see him
when we win the title, I'll meet him in person. I'll let you guys know.
He's gonna get one of those right there.
Yeah.
Doubt.
No.
Doubt it.
Not one of those. This one.
He's gonna get that one.
This specific one.
Doubt it.
Brunson's been doing generational stuff in terms of his tough shot making at that size specifically. I'm giving him an A+ consistently.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest roles, like you said, and he's lived up to the expectation that we kind of put upon him after last year when he averaged 35 for a playoff series last year. It was insane, and we all said, all right, so he's clearly a top 10 player in the world. He's clearly surpassed everything we ever could have hoped.
And they try to take it away from him.
Who's they?
You know who they are.
I don't know. Who's slandering Jalen Brunson?
Them.
People in the first round of that series.
Fucking them. Unbelievable. But yeah, so he's continuing to do Jalen Brunson things.
All of them. They were all trying to
Can
say.
you repeat that?
No.
I don't even know what he's talking about. But yeah, Jalen Brunson has completely played Jalen Brunson basketball. I have little criticism of him to say. I don't even really see a downside. He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
Okay, if you don't have criticism for him, do you have any static or criticism towards Karl Anthony Towns?
he's been KAT. He's had the reason they're probably going to beat the Celtics is because the rise of the two big lineup and how much Mitchell Robinson has really given the Celtics problems. I think KAT has had moments where he's held his own defensively. They've asked him to switch out and say, you got to figure that shit out. Despite your physical limitations, whatever it may be, defend. He's done a solid job. He's had his offensive splashes. He's been 20 point per game, up and down defensively, but doing enough to give you the looks, play off with Jalen Brunson, give you the secondary shot making, get hot at the right times. Solid B plus. He's done his job.
He's hit tough shots.
Oh, those fadeaways. I keep meeting every game. He hits a crazy one.
His fadeaways have been crazy. And then he has games or moments like he did in Game 5 where he's just fouling people.
Yeah. We shot Game 5. Yesterday's game wasn't great.
Keep his hands to himself. and it's Game 5 was I should have known that it was going to be like that.
Oh, you definitely should have known that the Celtics would fight for their lives and get one at home.
However, I didn't know it was going to be Luke Cornett legacy game, and he was going to almost get a triple-double with blocks. But the KAT foul trouble, it's peaked its head a couple times.
Yeah.
It's never gotten to a point where it's seriously hurt the team. They've always been able to kind of bounce back and ride whatever wave, but I think in this series, defensively, he's played as well as you can ask for. Offensively, there's moments in the Detroit series and in this series where, the guy guarding you is 6'4".
Yeah.
You're 7 feet tall. I'm going to need you to be big, go to the basket, play out of the post, overpower some people. And it just hasn't been there as consistent as you would like.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think I've talked about this before. I think that's a common misconception in his game that he's like a go-to post scorer or even like that he's like great in the post. He's fine. His whole game that makes him good is his stretch big qualities and how he can attack closeouts and be faster than centers and bigger than wings that are closing out on him. He's really at his best there. And I don't know why they don't love to do pick and pop with him. Or pick and roll. They don't have a big two-man game with Jalen Brunson.
And that feels like it's built into the plan to lean away from that
I do know why. It's because defenses put wings on him and say, if you do that, we're going to switch it and we're just going to put our best wing on Jalen Brunson. So they say, okay, we're going to attack other defenders, KAT, space the floor. So I do know why it happens. The Tom Thibodeau isn't like the most brilliant offensive mind in the world to find works around that. So I think the deficiencies of KAT are kind of built in to his play style.
The frustrating part is whenever you do see him go to the post, he goes to the post on Al Horford. And it's like, okay, if you're going to do it, fine. But I'd rather you do it against the guy who's 6'4" and not the guy who's 6'10", who just Al Horford is amazing and just locks up every single big that you can ask him to
bro.
do.
That's what he is on
that's
defense.
That's what I'm saying. So picking his spots, that is the more frustrating part. It's not necessarily like you're not good in the post. If you're gonna do it, just do it when it's actually smart to.
Yeah. But all the deficiencies I think are just, like I said, you got to grade everybody on your expectations for them. This is all stuff we could have seen coming in. This is KAT, the pros and the cons. So
I give him a B.
Yeah, it's fine. He's been fine.
Statement being made.
He's been
right.
completely fine.
I don't expect anything else or less from what he's doing right now.
Yeah. For as somebody who, I'm not the highest on him. I'm also not the lowest. He's been completely fine.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about, get to these teams that have been eliminated. Oh, actually, I forgot. Celtics. What do we grade Jayson Tatum? Obviously, before the injury.
He got an A.
I don't know if you can give him an A because that Orlando series was rough. He was hurt in that series too. I think he missed game 2. But overall, his shooting was really rough.
You got to be nice to him now that he's hurt. You don't got to be that nice to him.
Yeah.
You don't got to do that many brownie points. You don't got to give him an A. He did start the series off with some goddamn stinkers. Obviously, he got better. The game he got hurt, he was having one of the best games of his fucking career.
Yeah.
But the stinkers were there. Orlando series, I don't fault him too much. That team is so good defensively, and they said, we're going to make this a goddamn rock fight. You're going to have to beat us out the mud. It's not going to be efficient. I think he played fine there, all things considered with the injury. Beginning of this Knicks series, he was tragic. It was some of the worst basketball he's played in years. And then the second half, he got better before he got hurt. Feels like a B to me.
I'm over here on my notes. I think I gave him a C+. Yeah, C+.
Okay, why are you harsher on him than I am? Are you holding the Magic series a little harsher than I am?
The Magic series a little bit, but more so the beginning of this Boston Celtics.
Okay, yeah, because Magic, he was 31, 11, and 5 on 52% effective field goal percentage, which isn't good efficiency, but it's not horrendous for the playoffs.
He's doing what he's supposed to do against a team like that who's going to make him get every single thing out of it. It's one of the toughest, maybe one of the 2-3 toughest defensive teams that the NBA has to offer. So that's expected. But what's not expected is to see constant like see them fall and blow multiple like 20-point leads in the
They
playoffs.
do
That's
that.
like
They did do
literally
that. They did do
generational
that.
stuff, and that blood is on his hands. You know, seeing how he towards the end of that game, the last 20-point lead that he blown, towards the end of that game, how he lost his hand a little bit. I think he drove to the left side of the baseline and he got tried to pass it out, got blocked.
We gotta stop being
by
nice.
Mikal Bridges,
man.
and also was deterred by OG Anunoby as well. Seeing just the process of that happening, I can't give him
Legs
more than
was
a B,
wet.
bro.
I wish you a speedy recovery. I'm so disheartened. I hate seeing such a
Yes.
tragic injury to one of the league's brightest, youngest, most reliable stars. With that being said, those first two games, you went down 2-0. The series was done at that point. It's hard to come back from 2-0 when you lose both games at home.
It was never done.
It was, I mean, no, not done. But like, you know, that's a very big hole to climb out of.
Yeah.
And your lack of performance is a big part of that. C+ was fine to me.
Yeah.
He did good when the hole was already dug, but you know, the digging the hole was the stars of the Celtics' fault.
And bro, I will never ever be able to get those images of the grass that you put up on TD3 live stream Tuesday 6 p.m. Eastern time. Tap in that you put up on the stream. That graph was ridiculous, and that was a pure like Jayson Tatum, Drew Holiday, whatever issue as well.
Well, everybody was missing shots too. It was cold shooting. It wasn't just. I'm joking. It wasn't just Tatum. He played a part of it. You had to be able to be the star that can find ways to make the offense work, even when everybody else is missing their shots. Mm-hmm. But everybody was missing their shots, so it's not just him. But yeah, he didn't help, and they went down 2-0, and that really was not a nail in the coffin. That like, or no, it is a nail in the coffin. It wasn't fully hammered in, but it was in there a little bit. It was in there a little bit. It's pretty hard to come back from 2-0.
Yeah, but just because I gave him like a C- or C+ or whatever, don't mean I think he stinks. Like we saw what he was doing right before he got hurt.
Games 3 and 4 are the ones that are still very, very fresh in my mind because he was going ballistic.
Those were A games.
Yeah.
The first two were F games. B+ for the first series. Yeah, that feels like C+, B- in the aggregate.
All right.
Cool.
And obviously then he gets hurt. Couldn't see the vision through. Maybe he would have had a miraculous comeback and they would have came back and beat the Knicks. I think that was very in the cards. Tough.
It is what it is. It wasn't in the cards.
Who's next?
Let's go to one of the teams we just mentioned, the Orlando Magic. What are we going to grade Paolo Banchero?
You know what it is.
I actually don't know what it is because it's he shot 71% at the rim. Got
Demon.
there 5% less than he did in the playoffs, but when he got there, he did the bully ball stuff. He got to the free throw line. That's one of the big things we wanted to see from him all year, right? Be the physical down low scorer. He had potentially the worst mid-range scoring performance I've ever seen from a go-to star. It was the highest mid-range shot volume in the NBA. 33% there. 46% effective field goal percentage overall.
Keep going.
Pretty goddamn bad. So the rim scoring was great. That's what we wanted. The mid-range scoring, which is the bread and butter, was horrible. So we saw signs that he'll be really good next year. He's addressing the issues that we've all had with him in his process, but his bread and butter didn't go well.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
When we were talking earlier about Anthony Edwards, what was one of the things that you said about him and why he gets the
well-rounded game, and he found ways to be effective when his shot wasn't falling.
When we talk about Paolo, the main thing, especially in last year's playoffs, what were you saying about why he was a playoff demon last year?
He shot 54% from mid-range, which is unsustainably high.
And now that this year it was not good. The fact that that he still had 3 games where he was scoring 30 on a team where outside of Corey Joseph, anybody who played outside of Corey Joseph, anybody who played meaningful minutes on that team did not shoot over 30% from 3.
Gross.
Insane.
And he's still able to be the constant, the scorer, do everything that they asked him to do in leading that team. I'm giving Paolo an A+.
Oh, I'll give him a B.
I'm giving him an A+.
Again, we've talked about a lot. The shooting is outrageously disgusting. Like he obviously, this is similar to similar to Sengun, where it's all about what we see from you process wise, and the process was good. He was aggressive for the most part, so that's good. We can't expect him to win the series or win games when the supporting cast was so dog shit. That being said, the mid-range scoring of Paolo Banchero and the reliance on that and how much that he wants that to be his
bread and butter
over the rim scoring.
If that was going, he would have averaged 40.
It wasn't going, and it doesn't go a lot. That's the problem with Paolo Banchero is finding that balance. And while I'm glad he shot so well at the rim, we want to see that. The mid-range element was on full display. They were goading him into taking them, and he was taking them left and right, not shooting well. That part of his process still has to improve. And again, the spacing is a big part of this. We know that. So I'm not giving him a terrible grade or anything. he addressed the bad habits, or not, he addressed the weaknesses that I want to see continue to get better, mainly being rim scoring and passing. I was encouraged by that. So it's not a bad grade, but it wasn't like hyper effective or anything. I think B's fine.
No, but I think you're a little harsh on the process in this case, especially when there were positive results.
What positive results? What does that mean?
Buckets,
to average.
See, okay. This is how you get me to be a hater, because you love points, rebounds, assists. The buckets are there, but like not at a good rate, not at a rate that leads good offense.
We've talked all year about how this offense sucks.
Yeah,
and how
he's not.
And then for them to go up against the Boston Celtics, who have Tatum and Brown and Al Horford, and they have good defenders everywhere that you turn it and you look. And so I'm saying, for him to have the main thing that he likes to do not be working and still find a way to be fairly effective, to where they won a game and had a couple other games where they were, in it for a decent stretch. That's a lot of that is because of Paolo scoring and his impact. And so for that reason, that's why I'm saying it's an A. And so, yes, can he shoot better? Are there other things that he needs to work on? Yeah. Going into next year and going into this next offseason, if he changes that, and if he like dials it back, either taking less mid ranges or just gets hyper efficient at that, that's what we're seeing, top 5, top 6, whatever, that level of Paolo. But even what he gave us this year, that's still another sign of, you were playing one way in the regular season, kind of ramping up. We get to the playoffs, and once again, you are the lone scorer on your team, doing all the scoring that your team needs. I'm giving you an A+ for that.
Oh, see, I
don't know about an A+.
I thought
it feels really unfair to give someone like Paolo A+ and then give Alfred Sengun, I think you gave him a C or something like that.
Completely unfair. And again, I don't even.
Feels like
I thought I was coming optimistic. I'm not even trying to hate. Like, I think a B is a good grade for someone who.
That's all Sengun took. That's all he was taking. It's not like Sengun's layups weren't going, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna stretch my game out to the 3. I'm gonna start knocking these things down.
And Paolo did shoot well from 3 overall
Yeah,
for the
he
series
shot
too. So there's
44%,
that. Yeah, he shot
which is
really well
good.
from 3. It's just the 2-point scoring was terrible, 43%. Like, that's where you're saying it like he got his game off and they just lost the games. Like, to get an A+, I feel like you have to perform great. He performed fine. Obviously, we know that the situation is a part of that. You like to pretend that he's no part of that. Like, he doesn't have habits of himself.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Both are true. And I think a B is fine. We saw the upside, and we see that you're real close. You get better at these things. The team gets better. It helps you get better at those things. You're going to be amazing.
I think A+ only deserves to be for players like Tyrese Haliburton,
Agreed.
who just completely like, oh my God, he's actually at that level. Paolo didn't do anything on the court to just make me to like mind blow me or mind bend me whatsoever. It's like very much expected. Like, yeah, you're gonna go ahead and get your shot off. You're gonna bully in the paint, which is super good. We've seen him do it in the regular season a little bit more, which is great. But he didn't do anything that put him in otherworldly conversation.
He didn't change the way you view him in this. Like,
yeah.
we all feel like we see the vision. He just needs time to get there, and that once he addresses these things, gets better in these other ways and develops, he'll be great. I left the series still feeling good about that. I didn't feel like he's great now. I didn't feel like this is like great process that leads to good offense now. Like, both are true.
Y'all, for the last 7 months, y'all have talked about Paolo and said, like, oh, listen, he wants to be a mid-range shooter. Let's see what happens when the mid-ranges aren't falling. Bro, you're 6'10". Get to the line, use your physicality. And you were able to see that. You were able to see that in this series. And you were able to see, hey, when the mid-range isn't falling, I still have other ways to problem solve.
Why are you making me hate on him?
I'm still able to.
He shot 43% from 2. He got to the rim. He shot well at the rim. He shot there 5% less in the regular season. 26% of his shots were at the rim.
Everybody's efficiency down because we're playing football.
Oh, now it's everybody's. I agree.
We're playing football. What are you talking about?
The efficiency was fine at the rim. He got there less because they cut him off and they wanted him to take the mid-range shots, and he said fine. He didn't get there a lot. He didn't do the volume of it. He shot well there because he exerted himself. The main point is volume, making that be your main go-to. 26% of his shots were at the rim. That is tiny for a big man scorer like that. I can't even not trying to hate on him, but you're acting like it was some like brilliant shot making at the rim that like changes your perception of him. Not really.
My perception has never changed. I've always looked at him and I said, that's a bowler.
I know.
that's a hooper. That's how I've seen it. But you look at this team and you look how desolate their offense is, and to see the bright star, to see the North Star that they have it's just like I have to give you credit.
Yeah,
I have to do it.
I agree.
I
I just felt like B was credit. I feel like A+ is like you blew my mind, and I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I think about the players who we gave A+ to. Okay, Giannis, one of the best players in the world. Haliburton, he's proven that he's one of the best players at his position, and he's solidifying
fine,
his
I'll give
spot.
him an A.
Brunson, bro,
I'll
A+
give him an
again.
A.
Like
Or like Randle, who changed our perception of him.
exactly, like these conversations
A+.
actually
A.
move.
Fair enough. Okay.
Fair.
Now, if you want to say A-, whatever, go ahead.
Fine.
I just,
I'll say A. He doesn't get the A+, but he gets the
just
A.
let it be known I am not hating on Paolo Banchero. I think he had a encouraging sign. It just obviously does not deserve an A yet to me.
You once again don't believe in him. It's okay.
The idea of him is slowly starting to form for sure.
Yeah.
It's already here.
If this is it here, we're fucked. If this is here, it's cooked. We're celebrating for 46% effective field goal percentage. Throw the fucking parade. No, that's not true though. He's nowhere near his ceiling. The ceiling is high. I actually feel like next year is going to be the year for sure that he makes the real leap to being the top 12, 15 player. Like
when he comes out again, scores 50 points in the first week, right? Does not tear his right oblique and actually gets to carry that momentum into the rest of the season.
No one's doubting that. No one's doubting that. If he's
You're
healthy.
all C.
For what?
You're all C.
You act like
We'll all see. I thought you said you're all see. Like that's a. But no, okay, I'm not. I agree. If he comes back and develops over the summer, has a healthy year, I fully expect him to be the superstar next year.
You know who needs to develop? His partner in crime, Franz.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna grade him. I feel
brother.
like
Yeah, he shot like 17% from three. Oh
I'm
my
so dejected.
God,
I'm so dejected right now. Like he just can't shoot. He can't shoot at all, and
Just
nothing else matters.
Just a wet leg. It's all
Nothing else matters. And it's so hard because like you don't want to do the typical media thing like they can't play together. They better come out with a dynamic point guard next year who can shoot.
That's what I'm saying.
And a stretch five.
Mhm.
You better show me a chance to see these two wings with a stretch five and with a really, really good shooter as well from the backcourt positions. If that doesn't work, then if they can't coexist, they can't coexist. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
but stretch five is necessary. They clearly need a stretch five. Wendell Carter does nothing to elevate them.
I agree. It's hard to grade him. It's hard to grade him. But if I was to grade him, you deserve a D. Easy.
Yes. And like he did other stuff well, but
Maybe
the shooting is such a debilitating thing for their offense that we can't give any grade of merit.
I agree. You know what's another losing team that I kind of want to talk about?
Clippers.
Sure. Let's roll into it.
James Harden. Pretty good 6 games. He had a dominant game 1, dominant game 6. 7 points in another game 7 meltdown.
Yikes. Let's talk lower and lower.
Vintage James Harden showed his face in many ways, including the 7th game of the series, in which he made 2 field goals, scored 7 points total.
You're talking quiet like that performance wasn't insanely loud. Like he didn't have the loudest 7 points of all time. Once again, and I am absolutely disgusted because I actually, for weeks, I was coming up here and I was saying, you know, I don't trust the Clippers. I think this is gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen. And I actually let myself get tricked by y'all and being like, listen, you have to just be able to go off of what they're showing right now. Like, please believe in them. And I was looking at them in some absolute value type stuff. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I believe in the Clippers. They're gonna win this series. And James Harden did the James Harden stuff. And it's like, it's just, it once again proves to me that I will never ever pick a team that has James Harden in a like viable role. I'm not picking you to win a series ever.
See,
again.
I think,
and I want you guys to hold that to me.
The mistake that
Hold
we
me to
made,
that.
me and Isaac specifically made, I would say, is that we understood, or at least you especially were screaming out loud to the top of your lungs, like, this Clippers team is different. They're not necessarily 100% reliant on James Harden going off. And
I actually don't even like James Harden anymore. Like, I'm the biggest James Harden fan. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been moved by him all year.
Exactly.
I didn't pick him to be an all-star. I never picked him up. I hate his style of play right now.
But overall, for the Clippers as a whole, you were talking about how this infrastructure is not built for them to rely on 25, 30 point per game James Harden, which is very fucking true. And although he was able to provide that for them, like, here and there, especially, I think that game 6, he had a magnificent game.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like, you can't rely on the Norman Powells and Nick Batums and all that if James Harden's gonna do like 7 points and make 2 shots or whatever it was. Like,
yeah, you can't be that bad. And also, the other guys also got clamped up in that game. So it was a just meltdown in the game 7 for sure. They were vintage Clippers, right? That series was one that
Clippers.
I think before that series started, I was like, this is the one that I don't fucking know. Like I said Clippers in 7, but I was like, this is not a confident 7 at all. Like if I'm saying something's going to go 7, it can go either way. This is the one that can go the most either way. We'll go with the Clippers because they've been so good as of late. And the Nuggets fired their coach. They have 6 playable players. Kind of worried on betting on that over a team peaking at the right time. It felt like that was going to happen until that game 7 came around. And they just went out in typical Clippers fashion. If you are who we once thought you were, how do we grade that? F, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get to a game 7 that everyone knew this series was going to go 7, you just got to close it out.
I've read, and other people have, especially after game 7, like is James Harden, like the biggest playoff choker in NBA history and all this type of stuff. I was reading articles about why people were breaking down why he was so bad specifically in game 7s and everyone was trying to figure out. And it's like, yo, he's just not in that class. And so his game 7 performance and his elimination performance, once again, is the thing that we're going to remember. And whether or not it is fair to do that, because we have a sample size of James Harden in elimination games, that is what we're going to do. So his entire playoff run is going to be defined by the fact that they went out sad in game 7. And it was like the 3rd or 4th quarter and Ty Lue's already waving the white flag.
Yeah, I'm over it. There was 8 playoff series in the first round. I got 6 out of 8 right. The 2 I got wrong are the ones where I believed in some choking motherfuckers from Los Angeles. On both sides of the aisle, the Lakers and the Clippers are the 2 teams that disappointed me.
Yeah.
I'm over it, man.
It's tough.
Tragic.
Kawhi Leonard, I think, was exactly what you expect in the same way James Harden was. There was the game 2, the spike game, and when he had 39 points, and everyone was like, don't want to see Kawhi Leonard if he's healthy. They got him here. It's going to be another vintage Kawhi Leonard performance. Everyone's, I'd rather have Kawhi than Shea. I'd rather have Kawhi than Luka. I'd rather have Kawhi than Tatum. Everyone's on top of the world saying they'd rather have him than star XYZ. And when he has 39 points for the next 2 days, you got to be like, all right, well, fair enough, I guess, if this is what he's going to do. Turns out he did not do that for the whole series. He had plenty of low games because this is a Kawhi Leonard as of late. He doesn't have the energy and it doesn't have the lower body consistency to continuously give you that level of dominance. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. Some games he doesn't have the juice. That's pretty much what happened. He had 2 games of 25 points, 39 in game 2, 27 in game 6. Every other game was below 25 points. 25, 7, and 4 on 59% effective field goal percentage overall because he's the type that he's going to be efficient because he's not going to try and do too much because he knows he can't. He's not going to try to empty the clip. And that's what happens in a game 7 when James Harden shits himself and then Kawhi doesn't have the juice either. You lose.
Sounds like a D to me.
No, you can't give Kawhi a D.
Why?
25, 7, and
D
4. I mean, they made it to 7 against a good team. He was still efficient. Why would I give him a D? He didn't collapse. If he scored 39 every game, he'd get a goddamn A+. He'd be one of the best players in the world. You're overreacting way too much.
Yeah, I think he deserves a solid B.
Yeah, B-, C+. He was good. He just can't be amazing anymore.
B is a stretch.
No, it's not. Kawhi he played good. He just can't be amazing anymore.
Like you can't look at this Clippers collapse and pinpoint it at him as if he didn't reach up to expectations.
Listen to what we're saying.
No, I'm gonna do that to both of them.
The bad games weren't bad like James Harden's were bad. They just weren't amazing because he's not that guy
That's
anymore.
why I'm not giving him an F. You understand? Like that's why. That's
An
why.
F is crazy.
I need you to understand. I believed in the Clippers and they made me look foolish. I hate them right now.
Fair enough.
I hate them right now.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Fair enough.
I tried to give them grace and they backstabbed me like this. So never again. Never again.
Yeah. And again, I mean, they lost a tough 7-game series to a team that has insane lock-in. We're going to talk about the Nuggets after the break, obviously talk about them. I have so much good things to say about the state of the current Denver Nuggets and how much they've proved us wrong in the coaching regard, on the lock-in regard, the defense regard. We'll see how game 6 goes. We're going to, like I said, react to that after. We have a last name, really. Cade. 25, 8, and 8. Shot 17% from 3 for the series. 5.3 turnovers per game. 49% on 2s. Only 54% at the rim. Goddamn. To me, it was a typical welcome to the playoffs game. We know Cade is not the most efficient guy in the world and doesn't have the most help in the world. So you get to a playoff environment. It was kind of expected. All those things would really be made to be a lot of pressure under those things. The heat would be turned up. You'd have to see him really, really turn up to the level to make up for that. And, spoiler alert, before the series started, I said Knicks in 5 because I was like, that's not going to happen. You're going to see a welcome to the NBA playoffs moment for Cade Cunningham. It's kind of what this was. I think it's just a slightly worse version of who he was in the playoffs. And that's going to happen when you place an elite defense. He has a lot to learn. No surprises here for me.
What's your overall grade on him?
I would say B plus, just because.
Ooh, that's high.
It just the numbers weren't great. He had a lot of impact on all of those games. I think he played. I do think he played better than what the numbers suggest.
And that's his whole thing. Mm-hmm. He has good control over the game, his playmaking. He's never going to be efficient, so he's always going to be better to the eye test than he is to the numbers. And that's kind of the conundrum that you have to get past because the numbers do matter. So that's always the balance you got to strike is keep those numbers up because your intangibles, control of the game, playmaking is going to be top tier. If you get the efficiency, get the turnovers to match, that's how you become a top 10 player.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can believe in intangibles though, to the point to where like you can't avoid seeing that 17% from three.
I mean, but he's running with Tobias Harris and like
he had okay spacing.
I mean, no, but I mean, I'm saying like Tobias Harris in a playoff series, we know what that has generally like
gotcha.
brought upon.
Yeah,
and so that's not something that we've never necessarily like believed in.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about the rules the whole time. The Knicks-Pistons series, I think, was that and the Warriors series. Those two were the most physical series out of all of them.
Yeah.
And so I think like like you said, the eye test. Watching those games, Cade was the one where you could feel him still dictating, even if the shot wasn't going, still being a threat on every single play. So I'm going to give him a little bit of credit for that. If you do want to knock him for something, it would be, hey, you are running these pick and rolls and Karl-Anthony Towns is right there. Why are your numbers not amazing? You know, like that could be something that you could point to and you could tell me. True. And I'd be like, okay, fine. But I still want to give him just a little bit more credit for the way that he played.
Yeah, I think C plus or B minus is fine. Like C plus if we're gauging like the actual performance, but you do have to keep in mind you grade everybody to their expectations. This isn't a good performance for a lead guard. It's not. So this is a similar conversation to the Paolo thing we were talking about. They're not amazing performances for what you want to win a series, but I guess you gave Paolo credit for this. I'll give Cade credit for this. It's about process, and actually, never mind. This isn't Paolo's first time there. My bad. Mm-hmm. But this is Cade's first time there. We have to keep that in mind that there is a learning curve. This roster is here. They overperformed. They have veterans in the building. They got themselves the competency. It's not like a ready-made playoff roster to go toe-to-toe with great teams that are capable of beating the Celtics at that. Mm-hmm. Like, in context, I can see B minus for everything, but
I think we walked away like with this from this series knowing we already knew this coming into the playoffs, but we walked away knowing like he still has like some things in his game that he needs to address, whether it be some aspects of his scoring, or like how he gets his shot off specifically. That's always been a thing throughout the entirety of his career. So I'm okay with giving him like a C plus. Yeah,
in the regular season, he's found ways to kind of make up for the lack of explosion at the rim. He's never going to be an elite rim finisher, which is pretty important for a lead ball handler. You kind of have to be like a top tier player. He made up for that by having a really good in-between game, having the post-ups, having the hook shots, the running floaters, all that stuff that he does in the short mid-range area. And the three-point shot was really strong this year. That's what made it all come together. His off-the-dribble three was great. It was a weapon for him. Mm-hmm. When you shoot 17% from three, everything's going to fall apart. It really boils down to that. The other scoring, the twos, weren't great because he had to try to force it because the threes weren't respected.
That's that OG and Anunoby stat right there.
You think it's that? Up. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I can't. Okay. So yeah, C plus. That feels fine.
Yeah, I agree.
He didn't do horrible, but you have a ways to go as you'd expect.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that being said, that's the first part of the show.
We got three other players to rank as well, or to grade. Memphis Grizzlies. We didn't talk about them at all.
On purpose.
We got to talk about them just for at least 1 second.
3 players on the Grizzlies. We're grading 2 on the Grizzlies. Are you out of your mind?
2 players on the Grizzlies, and then I think we forgot to grade also Jaylen Brown.
Okay. Jaylen Brown.
What's your Jaylen Brown grade?
I mean, C. He's had really good moments and other moments where his leg looks wet. So I'm just going C.
I think something I would agree with you. I think something that I could see elevating my game or my grade for Jaylen Brown is seeing how he's going to operate without Tatum. The playmaking that he was able to get off during that last game,
man, I'm giving that
kind of moves me. If they're able to extend it to fucking 7-game series,
Game 5. Shout out to Jaylen Brown.
Boosted up to a B.
Shout out to Jaylen Brown for everything he did in Game 5. That game. Shout out Luke Cornett for real, and shout out my homie, my sunshine, Derek White, because Derek White was out here hooping in Game 5. But
we gotta go.
Overall in the series,
we're running out of time.
C.
John Morant and Jaren Jackson.
Jaren Jackson, he deserves the loudest F ever. I think he shot 37% from the field.
I'm
He
with
made
you.
only 3 3-pointers in the series that lasted 4 games. He only put up a total of 3 assists and 11 turnovers for the entirety of the series.
Damn.
That is one of the worst stinkers that I've ever seen from an all-star player ever. Ever. He deserves an F.
Tough. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say to defend him. It wasn't great. Part of that is also John Morant got hurt, so Jaren Jackson got increased responsibility as the series went on. They just got blitzed so hard, and they blew that big lead in that one game. Was that game 3? They had the big lead.
Yeah.
I think that's the game
3.
Jaw was hurt.
Yeah, the game he went out, they blew the big lead. Game 4, they got stomped. Actually, no, game 4 they fought, and it was closer than you would have thought without Jaw. That's why Jaw was like, we figured him out.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, John Morant's kind of hard to grade because he had 2 games and once again got injured. What do you do with that?
Incomplete.
Yeah, it's like Darius Garland. I have no sample size of note to take away from this.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't even gonna put him on here. We forgot whatever. I wish I could say something more positive. 2.5 games doesn't tell you much about anything.
Yeah, I give him a D just overall. Incomplete for sure. Incomplete assignment is the best way to look at it.
No. And that being said, we're gonna take a break right now and we're gonna come back. Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. Put that shit down. We're not doing that yet.
Oh, you're right.
Bozos. We're gonna take a quick break. You guys are gonna see us about
true.
6.5, 7 hours from now because we give you guys a
I
reaction
did forget.
to Game 6 of the OKC Thunder versus Denver Nuggets series.
Y'all, you will not see me towards the second half of this. Taking this back home to Atlanta. Shout out to the State Farm Arena. Trae Young ain't been able to do it. Al Horford wasn't able to do it. My name will be on those Raptors. I'll see you guys.
Doubt. Well, goddamn, Julian Strother. All right.
It's about time.
That's how you have a legacy role player game.
It's about time.
Yep.
All of these games have been decided, and this whole series has been defined by this star isn't stepping up. This star is playing like trash. Why doesn't Julian Strother do something about it? And he did tonight. Save the Nuggets season. Wow.
Yep. We're recording this,
Beautiful.
like we told you guys earlier, right after the game ended. Game 6 just ended. It's 10:20. Whoa, what did I just say? It is 10:22 p.m. And we now have a Game 7 on our hands. The Denver Nuggets pull it out, defend their home court, force a Game 7. And, this is typically what you see. It's what the Boston Celtics did just now when they almost faced elimination against the Knicks. These guys aren't going out sad, and they did not. They executed that offense in the second half to perfection.
Oh, my goodness.
Man, there's so many things to talk about when it comes to what we witnessed within this game. But I guess, the biggest talking point right now, like you said, should be Julius Strother. And then, of course, we're going to, dive into grading the Nikola Jokic, Shea, and J-Dub and all that.
Yeah, so, like you said, the topic of this episode is grading the stars. Well, Cat's going crazy. Right. So we can frame it through that. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander came out, had a great game. He finished with 30, I think, or over.
30.
Exactly 30. And he's the only one. He's the only one that had a great game. Jalen Williams. My God. Jalen Williams for grade tonight, F-.
Leg was wet.
Jalen Williams, man. Last year in the playoffs, a big talking point of why they lost. This man was not ready to be a second option. For all the strengths he has defensively, the half-court shot creation has always been an issue. Who has it been an issue, and was it an issue tonight? He played absolutely horribly. Before we get to, I guess, the grading, they lost this game because in the second half they started off shooting 2 for 17 from 3. Their offense completely fell apart because they just didn't make shots at all, and the Nuggets played fantastic. The role players stepped up. Jamal Murray played great through the sickness. Julian Strother, like we talked about, made threes.
Exactly.
They just got outshot in the second half. I feel like this is the most simple of all the losses.
Yes, I agree. It feels like David Adelman found the Michael Porter Jr. insurance. He found the Russell Westbrook insurance, and he's been he's been force-feeding guys like Peyton Watson Jr. and Peyton Watson, and also really that's it. Christian Braun as offensive weapons. He's been constantly looking for that fourth guy to rely on consistently for minutes. And this night, Aaron Gordon had a horrific game. Jamal Murray played well. Jokic did Jokic things, of course, but usually that's the telltale story. Who is that other extra guy? And I saw the stat during the game that said that Russell Westbrook leads all bench players in points coming off of the bench for the playoffs, which is cool stuff. But he was horrendous this game. He was just running around as if he was a bodybuilder who just learned about the sport of basketball 2 days ago. You seen that clip of Ashton Hall just like shooting the basketball and then eating a watermelon? Yeah. That felt like Russell Westbrook tonight. That's crazy. Just like big and just like shooting around, bro.
This is so charged. Like, it's like this big black dude just running around eating watermelon all day. Like,
minus the watermelon part, bro.
Got nothing
he just
to lose.
looks big and shooting around, bro. That's who.
No, this game was actually, if you think about, yes, like Nuggets fans are going to look back on this and they're going to say it's the Julian Strawther game. About time we got something from him and from our bench. Cool. If you look at it just like aside from that, this game, the Thunder should be ashamed that they lost because you had a sick Jamal Murray. You had, like Mo said, Russell Westbrook, who was pretty bad for a majority of the night. You had a Nuggets team that they came out, they gave a very, very valiant first punch in the first quarter. OKC took very good control of this game in the second quarter and threw it all away in the last 3 minutes. And then from that moment on, they couldn't do anything. Even on top of the fact that their threes weren't falling, they were making, especially in the third quarter, they were making boneheaded mistakes. Yeah. They weren't finishing layups, right? They were just out of control. They weren't in sync the entire game. And so to have all of those things go in your favor and also to have a good Shea game, right? There were a lot of things that could have worked in their favor that should have led to them closing out this series, and they just didn't get it done.
Yeah, I think as soon as the Denver Nuggets went up 2-1, I still had faith that Thunder would win, but I immediately was like, it's going to go game 7. You're not going to close out 3 games in a row against the Nuggets at home on their home court, which everyone knows is the best home court advantage in the NBA. I feel like this game to me is more about the Nuggets having a Nuggets game. Like, this is the first game that they wire to wire were the better team because their offense executed. They had almost 90 points in the third quarter. In most of these games, they've been getting locked up by this Thunder defense that's obviously like going to be a legendary defense. They got their game off today. You know, they had the home court advantage. The role players step up as you typically see. If I'm a Nuggets fan, this is the first night of the series. I feel really good about their chances to win the series. Because obviously we'll see what happens when you get back to OKC. We'll see if the Thunder have it in them with ice in their veins to close it out. But they're at home. And for most of the series, every game the Thunder had played better at home than the Nuggets did, except for the game 1 they lost at home because we talked about it at length. Mark Dagnall choked.
Yeah, even that game, they played better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thunder have been better at home every single game. They just lost one because Mark Dagnall did the stupidest thing in the world. But outside of that, I think the Thunder have maintained good momentum. If you want to find optimism as a Nuggets fan, this is the night to have it because their offense was clicking despite the great defense. And obviously, like we said, the Thunder, just their shot making fell off a cliff in the fourth quarter. That tends to happen. They do not have the best high leverage shooters. If they have an Achilles heel, aside from J-Dub, it is the fact that some of these guys can be streaky shooters. If you have good momentum with your offense in the Nuggets and you know those guys can piss on their legs sometimes, I'd feel decent if I was a Nuggets fan.
Bro, yeah, I agree with you. Every Nuggets fan should be joyous right now because it feels like they legitimately have a chance to go further than what we all thought. And that's because, again, going back to the Julian Strawther thing, like not to harp too much on him, but I'm harping on the fact that they legitimately have another option, another guy that they could probably rely on. Now, of course, game 7, I think that the OKC will probably make adjustments and learn to stay at home a lot more at him now that he's showcasing his 3-point shooting abilities. But this is another option nonetheless that you have. Back then, throughout the entirety of the series and playoff postseason, really, like they've been capped to only 6 guys, maybe 7 guys, depending on how you feel about Payne Watson.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a little nervous.
We'll see. It's one game with Strawther. I'm not going to act like he's blowing the series open.
Exactly, he's not.
But we'll see.
It's about the margins, and he just added a little extra wrinkle, which is important.
When we were watching the game, I was saying, feel like it's been a while that we've seen one of these vintage role player games. This happens all the time. Honestly, this game is like such a
quintessential like
playoff game.
Yeah,
it checks the boxes. Home team facing elimination. They lost 2 in a row. They don't want to go out sad 3 in a row. They even had the best player who they obviously play well at home. The role players step up. They stave themselves off elimination, give themselves another night to fight to win the series. That happens all the time. Role players like Julian Strawther giving you nothing and then winning you a game happens all the time. We were talking about, it reminded me back when Grant Williams won the Celtics that series, that game in was that 2022 or something?
Yeah.
I think against the Bucks, he had 27 in a random games. I think it was a game 6 actually too.
It was a game 7 threes in a game 7.
Yeah, that's how this felt. Like this happens in the playoffs all the time. This is the first one of this season. I think I can't think of another. That's what you need. That's how you win playoff series, especially when you're not the better team. You need guys to step up and give you a game. That's exactly what this was.
And now we get to a game 7, and I'm worried obviously because of the inherent win or go home nature of game 7, but also because, and this was another thing that we talked about during the game, is like, I understand why the Thunder go and why they operate with their 2 big lineup, specifically playing against Jokic. Yeah. But there's so many times I'm like, I just want to see Chat at the 5. I'd rather you just have him and then 4 of your wings and 4 of your shooters and really, really lean on the strength of your team, which is these guards, these wings that can do everything defensively, that can provide spacing, and you just haven't seen that. And so because of that, like when their offense gets really, really in the mud, if that happens in game 7, there's literally no margin for error. So I'm like, I hope for their sake that J-Dub, and he will because he played awful tonight. He'll play better than what he did tonight, but like
this isn't his first bad game of the series. He's been terrible.
It's not, but I mean,
I guess
again, bet the. For me, just saying better, the bar's in the floor.
I still feel solid. I mean, this going 7, obviously in the beginning, I thought it was going to be OKC in 6. Once they lost a couple games, got down, it's like, okay, it's going to go 7, right? If they're going to win, it's going to be in 7. They're not going to win 3 in a row against the Thunder. So I'm against the Nuggets. So I don't feel horrible about the OKC chances, but we said this when they were down 2-1. You got to show you have championship merit. These are the moments that define championship runs. If you want to be that level of team, you have to win with adversity. And a lot of championship teams are in this scenario where they're at home in a game 7, have the ability to close it out. Sometimes the other team has the best player. You just got to perform and play to your level. TBD, right? In a game 7. If any series that go 7, any team can win. Because to win 3 games on both, clearly you're close enough for whatever reasons that any team can win. It's just, are they going to execute?
So with that being said, with what we know now, starting with OKC, which player do you want to grade first?
Let's do Shea.
Okay.
Very good game tonight. So again, back to the main core of this episode, grading every team's entire playoff performance, not just tonight. I'll give Shea a B- overall. He's trending up now. He's had a few good games in a row. There's been some learning curves for him because, like we talked about, when we started this episode, we mentioned the fact that the playoffs have been insanely different this year and how every team is allowed to foul the shit out of the opposing star and they're letting things go. That conversation was really based around Jokic and Shea. This is the whole reason we've been mentioning that throughout. Shea is getting defended so insanely aggressively. They're allowed to clobber him, and same with Jokic. Both these teams are throwing the most exotic, crazy coverages you could imagine. The way they're going to the lengths to double team Shea.
I've never seen before. Exotic.
It really is. Like the way they're throwing these double teams. Not to say we've never seen it before, but it's extreme. And we haven't seen it in quite a few years in this version of the NBA where they're allowed to do that with the level of aggression they are. And that threw Shea off completely to start the series. He had some rough games, some rough fourth quarters where trying to balance his driving game with this newfound aggression, with these double teams, and then trying to balance that with being a good passer and making reads necessary against these extreme doubles didn't go too well for him. And I think we saw the reason the series isn't over is because he struggled in a few of these games. It's trending upwards now, but I think we've seen some humps that he has to get over, and he is getting over them as we speak. This was a good game, like we said, but it's been a mixed bag. So I think overall, for his MVP level standards, B- feels fair.
I like that. I like that rating because a lot of people, feels so far away now, but in that Memphis Grizzlies series, of course, OKC dogged them like they should have, but Shea didn't have a Shea game really. Well, he did. He had like a singular Shea game, but overall throughout that entire series, he was struggling with his shots and the defense that the Memphis Grizzlies were throwing at him, and that struggle has waned away as time gone on because he's starting to slowly and surely figure things out. But still, overall, it has been rough, and he hasn't been like the guy in the playoffs like he has been the guy for the entirety of the regular season. The efficiency and all that naturally is going to drop off for everyone. That's normal. Yeah. But when it comes to, like you said, like all the in-between things to figure out when it comes to passing, which has always been like a weakness for him naturally in my mind, he's not that. It's been on his scouting report since he was in fucking high school, bro. And to see he's developed a lot, but in the playoffs, these things just get heightened, especially when it comes to the type of team that OKC is and how they are limited when it comes to actual offensive game deciders.
Yeah.
You know?
His rim field goal percentage dropped from 70% in the regular season to 61%. And that's the same thing that happened in last year's playoffs, right? These teams are selling out on him. They're saying, we're not going to let you slash. And he's responded by killing teams from the mid-range. Before this game that happened, that obviously the stats aren't updated. He's averaging 28, 7, and 7 on 51% effective field goal percentage because he's shooting 48% from the mid-range. So he's still getting that off, but the slashing's taken away. If they're going to do that and they're going to really just pack the paint on you in a very, I guess you could say simple way, right? They're just saying we're going to help and you're going to have to beat us with a shot or pass. He has to kill you with the passing, and he hasn't done that consistently.
Yeah, It feels weird for a guy that has 6 30-point games in this postseason to be like, yo, you played pretty disappointing throughout this run, but it is what it is. And it's like he set a standard for himself this season and even last year throughout, these 2 runs where you have been one of the most consistent scorers. Everyone has talked this year about how this is one of the best, guard scoring seasons that we've ever seen. And now, like those first 2 games against Memphis, yes, I can kind of throw them away because they dog walked them, but also, I mean, you also didn't play well. He got better as every game in that series went on, but here we are, and it still doesn't feel like we've had like the Shea moment. In these
something that
playoffs.
a lot of people haven't, they're not going to see it because of timing of how we sectioned this off or whatever, but something that you said earlier or later in the episode, Isaac, is we're grading these guys based off of their expectation. Shea has an entirely different expectation.
This is the end of the episode.
Oh, okay, cool. Shea has an entirely different level of expectation than any other player in this list outside of Giannis and someone like Jokic.
Yeah. And I think it's also important that he's not, so you said he's at 60, 30-point games. Why isn't there a dominant single game? I think it's important the context that we mentioned. They're not letting him get crazy games off like that. Like they're selling out to defend him. It is 2, sometimes 3 bodies thrown at him every time. Sometimes it's like if he gets caught on an island and he's isolating against MPJ or whatever, Christian Brown comes over on the nail and just whacks him. Like it's so aggressive and so dramatic of a defense. Shout out David Adelman. He's had coached a great defensive series. People will look at this and say, why aren't you dicing up this Nuggets defense? This Nuggets defense is defending so much higher than you would think given their, like what they showed us in the regular season.
What they were whenever they fired Mike Malone.
And their talent on paper, both those things. Because one, Jokic has had a great defensive series because the way they're deciding to pack the paint, Jokic and his ability to play the passing lanes in the paint is like an actual skill. He's really good at that.
And on top of that, too, something that's really impressive with Jokic is his ability to just be big and absorb any impact that players who are coming downhill like J-Dub are trying to like do.
Yeah, he's bad at rotating. He's a stationary inside the paint guy camping out. He's huge and he has good hands. That's an advantage. And then Aaron Gordon, same thing. This team is very well equipped for this exact type of defense. That's the reason they're selling out so hard on it, to take away Shea. There's other teams that have better defensive personnel, won't be quite as equipped to do this specific style of defense. So I don't even think it's like, oh, you should dice up this better defense. They're just saying somebody else has to dice this up. And I guess we can transition to J-Dub, who has to be the one to dice them up because they're selling out so hard on Shea. And he gets a stinking D for this playoff run so far. He has not been particularly good, especially offensively. If he was good tonight, the series would be over. Or maybe not because the Nuggets played well. But this game would have came down to the fourth quarter. He played so unbelievably poorly. And this is not the first game he had this type of stinker. Every question you had around J-Dub after last year's playoffs, he's giving you every reason to keep asking it.
And that's not good.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's obviously not good.
He's a great defender. Offensively, I think part of the reason that Shea's going to win MVP is because you look at this roster and he carries the offensive creation so hard. J-Dub should be a third option, not a second option. That's kind of the reality. He's not consistent enough. When you have an inconsistent second option, sometimes he does stuff like this. Hasn't been pretty.
Can you imagine OKC loses in Game 7, Sam Presti has a meltdown and just goes ahead and decides to trade everything for Giannis, J-Dub including?
I think it might more likely be Kevin Durant and J-Dub's out of here. That might be more likely. That would be a great fit.
I would, bro. I've wanted nothing more than a KD reunion back to OKC to complete what this team is missing and has been missing over the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think if they lose Game 7, I think I understand that they want to stand pat, but like if you lose Game 7, it'll be clearly, I think, well, we can't tell the future, but it'll probably be counting for this game too because your second option isn't good enough.
And for that, what is your grade for J-Dub?
Yeah, probably a D. You know, like it's the same thing. We had him as the X factor because if he came out and answered all the questions that we had, we're looking at this team they are stamped one of the best teams ever. They are cruising to a championship. The way that the bracket has broken out right now, it is so wide open. And with the Knicks potentially getting to the conference finals, if the Celtics come back and win this series, they're gonna go on without Jayson Tatum. The Pacers are there in the conference finals waiting on the other side. Then you have the Timberwolves, who, yes, they won in 5. We've been said they have not looked crisp all series long.
Yeah.
And then you have Denver, who on any given night can have a game like this, but they also have to rely on Julian Strawther to come in and give you 15 minutes. You have to hope that you are locked in with Russell Westbrook. So the Thunder are, at least on paper and on resume, the best team remaining.
Yes.
They should walk to a championship. It's not like that. They might get bounced out in the second round because everybody else that needs to step up and help Shea whenever, you are selling out and doing all that stuff, they're not doing it.
Triple D, we are fucking locked in, because I'm giving JWD as well. This game was so perfectly served in like a platter for him to showcase that, like, yeah, he's a legitimate second option who can help Shai Gilgeous-Alexander whenever he is in the mud with his shot, which he wasn't. Or in this case scenario today that happened, he was in foul trouble, and I think he had like 4 fouls before halftime even started or something like that, which is ridiculous. And so to see J-Dub do things like smoke the easiest bunnies ever because of the lack of, his body control in midair and not necessarily like mastering the art of slowing down when you're in the room after you like gain so much acceleration. Or fucking hell, I think it was fourth quarter we seen him like smoke a dunk.
Yeah, he missed 2 fast break possessions. One, he tried to cut off Peyton Watson's body and do some fancy shit where he, it's a typical thing you see in transition. He blocked him off so they can't contest it well without fouling. He went too far, timed it horribly. Peyton Watson blocked him from the back. Again, in the fourth quarter, similar situation. He just smokes a dunk, bounces out the back of the rim. Just not his night.
In this series, here's what he's shooting. 5 for 20, 6 for 11, 11 of 21. Those are the 2 like solid games.
Yep.
Then last 3 games, 2 for 13, 5 for 14. Tonight he was 3 of 16.
And he's defended extremely well. He's done that extremely well. He's an amazing defender.
Yeah.
Does not matter when you have so much offensive responsibility. Like, him and Shea are literally the only offensive creators you have, which is a roster flaw. Like, that's not good. But, when you have the all-time great defense, part of that is because of J-Dub. You win more often than you not. But against a team like the Nuggets, they're just so disciplined, so good. You have to perform against them. It's kind of like a thing against the Pacers where they don't have a ton of off nights. You have to play your tip-top level, especially when you're in Denver. You just can't afford nights like this from a guy who has this much responsibility.
It's a roster flaw, but I do want to say this is not one of those like glaring ones. They had a very, very talented young player and said, go develop. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, it sucks that it's played out this way, that you look at this and it's like, you're actually not what we really need offensively, or you're not at that level at what we need right now. But I don't want anybody to go back and do revisionist history on like what J-Dub was, the prospect a year and a half ago.
He was actually way better early last year offensively. We've talked about this a lot. He put on a lot of weight to be their power forward defensively over the summer, and now he's a fucking tank defensive goon. But the offense you can kind of see the correlation there that kind of went the other way. So yeah, I agree. I mean, and I also don't, he's a great player still. So it's not, there's just a lot of responsibility on him that naturally he has to carry. You're given that role. You get the props if you win. If you win the championship, you're the second option on that team. Good for you. You got an all-star because of this role you're in. So it comes with the territory. He has to be better. So I don't think it's some kind of thing where you need to be like, was this whole experiment a mistake to rely on him? Yeah. No, you have the roster around you. Everything else is great because you're not putting assets into a second star. So you can afford to have insane defensive personnel. There's give and take, and this is what they chose to give.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't the worst issue to have in the world with OKC. Like, surprise, surprise. How old is J-Dub? He's like 22, 23 years old. Yeah.
A little bit older. He was an older rookie. He's like 24 or something like that.
24 years old. Not being ready as a 24-year-old second option is not the biggest surprise in the world whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now again,
and that's why people doubted them. That's why. If you had a reason why somebody was going to say they're not going to win the championship, they would point to what you just said. Mm-hmm. And you guys know I feel like I'm willing to still bet on them clearly. So, but you can obviously understand J-Dub specifically. Mm-hmm. I've never said that you shouldn't doubt J-Dub. I said I'm willing to bet they're going to be great because of the defense and because I believe in Shea and everything else around that. But J-Dub was clearly something you can doubt. So it's not entirely surprising. You would have hoped that after last year he comes out and performs better, just because you got to perform in the day. It's about execution. Mm-hmm. Motherfucker's not executing twice in a row in the second round. What are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You gonna trade him for Kevin Durant?
I guess so.
So Giannis, come on.
But I still feel decent. I'm not panicking yet as somebody who obviously wants to see the OKC Thunder win. I feel fine about Game 7.
How do you feel about Nikola Jokic and his performance so far?
Another one to talk about. This is similar to Shea, that the whole basis of this episode is to have some dialogue around Shea and Jokic's performance and their bad games and the context that these are coming in. Because he, obviously Game 1, had 40 points and was goddamn dominant, 40 and 20. I said they won that game because Mark Dagnall sold at the end. Also, they were in the position to take advantage of Mark Dagnall selling because Jokic was a god amongst men in Game 1. And then Game 2, 3, and 4, I guess, are the worst 3-game stretch of Nikola Jokic's career. He played absolutely terribly. The OKC defense gave him hell. They just refused to let him touch the ball. They were constantly breaking up the entry passes with a ridiculous amount of perimeter defenders that are good at that specific skill. They did a good job with the double bigs of not letting him get an easy touch. Insane defense. They were fouling the shit out of him in the same way the Nuggets are fouling the shit out of Shea. But in the last 2 games, he's really woken up and gone back to Jokic's standards. So similar to Shea, up and down. His heights are ridiculous. The lows, they lost some games because he was so bad. What do you grade that overall?
A-. I think, like, if we're grading the whole playoff run, because he was great in the Clippers series.
That is true. Yeah.
True. Yeah. It's Clipper series too.
Yeah, and so he was fantastic in there. And I mean, we've seen, last year you go back to the Timberwolves and you see a team like Minnesota who has just a lot of big bodies, and they're able to contain Jokic, and then now you even have a better defensive team in terms of everything that you have with Hardenstein, with Chet, to go in and guard Jokic. Now, should he have been as bad as he was? Absolutely not. But one, there's a baseline level of just how much he has to carry for this team that, like, you get a little bit of credit. And also, last game, you got like 40 points again.
He went crazy.
Like, same thing tonight. Diamond people up. He finishes one shy of 30. Like, he's still Jokic. And so I'm giving him an A- for the run.
Yeah, I like that grade perfectly fine. I think with the mountains that he's continuously had to climb, allows him to not have any real error in his game whatsoever.
Nobody's talking about his defense. His defense has been completely fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, one of the most impressive things about his defense, specifically in this series too, like I think I said it earlier, is his ability to absorb contact and try his best to get to the spot that the offensive player is trying to get to first. Sometimes it's cooked, but other times it's, for the most part, it's panned out pretty well, and that's why teams aren't necessarily able to successfully pick on Jokic for the most part. And I 100% agree. I give him an A as well for what he did during the Clippers series, the 40-point games, the 30-point games. Of course, put up 13, 16, 17, the most horrific efficiency of his career. But considering, like, the amount of task that's put onto his shoulders and the small amount of error from margin as well, he's given one of the toughest tasks in the entire NBA. I give him an A.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he went to Game 7 and clutched up and beat the second best team of the second half of the season in the Western Conference, and the Clippers. They're number 2 in net rating, or actually I think they were 1 for the second half of the season. And now he's in Game 7 with the 68-win team.
Yeah.
Obviously, this team is not deep. It revolves around Jokic, and he's pushing potentially the 2 biggest threats out west besides his team to 7 games. We'll see if he wins both. It's despite the lack of production for those 3 games, we're witnessing what could be a miraculous run. If he beats the Thunder and goes through Clippers, Thunder,
and gets to the finals,
brother, if that's a generational run. Oh my God!
If they fired the coach and the GM 9 games before
and then you beat
the
the 68-win team,
and you get to the finals.
Oh my God! These are nasty conversations we finna be having about Nikola Jokic.
I've been saying I still think the Thunder will win.
Yeah.
I said it on the stream early this week. If the Thunder lose, it'll be the biggest disappointment of modern NBA history. To have a team be one of the 5 most dominant regular season teams ever and lose in the second round, point blank, it is maybe number 2 besides the 3-1 Warriors, the biggest disappointment of our lifetimes in the NBA. That won't be exaggerating to say that the Thunder will have deserved all the blame for that. So if you're watching this 3 days from now and the Thunder blow a Game 7, cook them. It is one of the worst disappointments of all time. It'll be deserved.
And after they cook them, cook him.
You have to. You have to. You'll have to. And I'll have to understand because that means they are complete failures. I'll have to just take it.
We got all.
But with that being said,
we said the same thing as you. You just said it first.
But with that being said, if that happens, not only are the OKC Thunder one of the biggest failures, Jokic is fucking goated. That's a top 5 player of all time.
You leave it here with something. That's what you're saying.
If he does that, oh my God. If Jokic finds a way to win this series, I'm praying he wins the finals. I'm praying he sees it through. Because that's like a 2011 Dirk run, but even better. You have gone through just as good a competition with more turmoil, less help. Obviously I want Thunder to win. I don't want to be yelled at for a summer.
Yeah.
But if it happens, I'm glad it's Jokic. That'll be miraculous. I'm glad it's him if it happens.
You leave it here with something.
I hope he keeps on going because it'll be crazy.
Yeah, man. I agree.
No, it's hilarious. But yeah, we'll see because I think Game 7 is going to be on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So we'll stream on Tuesday. You guys will be able to see. You'll either be able to laugh at me and I'll have to listen, or we're going to say, Jokic, you did your thing, but this team in blue is different.
This is a crazy series, man. I tweeted the other
it's
day.
on Sunday.
Last week.
Game 7 is on Sunday.
Oh, it's on Sunday?
Sunday, 2:30.
This Sunday is literally.
I'm sorry. Why do they keep doing this, man? Why is Game 7 at 2:30 in the afternoon, 3:30 Eastern?
Well, at least there's 2 days off this time. Before it was 1 day off. That's what
that
was insane.
It's wild. But at the same time, put this thing at 6:30 at night. And let's call it a day.
I agree. This is a classic. This right here this feels like final. This is a finals worthy-esque type game. These are the 2 best teams that's left in the NBA, in my opinion, right now.
They probably do that because they have to. Tuesday has to start the third round. So they probably do it early in the day as possible, so the winning team can have as much rest as possible.
Let me see this. Let me see Tuesday's schedule. Nope. Well, no game schedule for Tuesday, but whatever.
Lame.
Anyways, 2:30 is egregious, but. Yeah. But yeah, if they can pull this off, it would be amazing. And it's one of those it turns into one of those things where it becomes myth, and we're gonna be those old dudes like, you don't understand like the turmoil that Denver was going through, and Jokic let him out of this.
With that being said, if the OKC Thunder fucking fold this hard and lose in the second round, and then the Nuggets lose in the next round, and there's no history made because of it, I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed. I'll be heated.
There'll be some people.
There's a young man from Atlanta who is ready to ruin your summer.
I would also like to see Anthony Edwards. That would also be a cool outcome if he wins the championship.
Yeah.
But like if this ends with like the Nuggets losing in the conference finals and like the Knicks win the championship, I'll be pissed.
So this happens with the Pacers beating the T-Wolves.
I'll be pissed.
Oh my God,
man.
It would be cool to see most of these teams win. Like Haliburton victory lap would also be cool.
Yeah, it's an NBA champion for sure.
It wouldn't be cooler than Jokic backpacking this hard.
NBA champion, Emirates NBA Cup champion.
Get the fuck.
Oh, we're stacking about Hall of Fame career here.
I'm just saying he's stacking up trophies.
Do you know how much static is going to be put on someone like Sam Presti for the lack of moves that he made during the trade deadline? I'm speaking specifically towards like the Cam Johnson thing.
Yeah.
So much pressure is going to be on his.
Oh yeah, Andrew Wiggins is 1 for 6 tonight. That didn't help either. And to get Cam Johnson, they would have had to trade Andrew Wiggins and Isaiah Joe.
Wait, Andrew Wiggins?
Aaron Wiggins.
Gotcha.
Obviously, come on. You know what I meant.
I know. I was like, come on, buddy, let's get on track.
Yeah, and listen, some of these, if they had somebody more reliable hitting these threes, it would have made a difference in these games.
The fuck happened to Isaiah Joe?
He just hasn't got a lot of run.
He just disappeared, bro. I saw him on the court. I was like, "Oh shit!" This player dropped.
This is what happens.
Tight rotations.
You can't. It's very hard to play 10 guys in a playoff series.
Okay, so who's gonna win? Final predictions. You guys know where I'm rocking with. Who's gonna win?
I'm going Nuggets.
Man,
I've been swayed. I think. Yeah, I've been swayed. I think Jokic has figured things out. Everything's fine.
The role players have played better at home in every game of the series. Stay true to the adage.
Shout out to you. I'm going with the Nuggets.
Game 7 is so tough, man. Naturally, I would want to lean towards OKC side. My brain tells me OKC because just logically makes more sense. Everyone's going to be juiced up for the game. Lou Dort's going to play better. J-Dub especially should be fucking playing way better. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if Denver has enough answers and optionality for the like storm that's going to happen. Damn.
Lou Dort hit threes today, by the way.
Yeah.
After going a month and a half not hitting any threes on the road, he hit 1 in the previous game and he hit 2 today.
Yeah.
He figured it out, y'all. He figured out how to make threes on the road.
Mind you, he was still 2 for 7.
He was still 2 for 7.
Hey, 2 for 7 is better than none, man.
Lou Dort giveth and Lou Dort taketh away. What are you going to do?
I'm leaning towards Nikola Jokic.
But Lou Dort's going to be at home now. They won last game. He hit 3 in the fourth quarter. Home court Lou Dort is different. I'm not even joking by saying home court Lou Dort is different.
I know you're not.
I'm leaning with the all-time player in Nikola Jokic right now.
I'm leaning with all-time player in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. How about that?
he's going to be all.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Obviously, I trust Jokic to perform more. But
Yeah.
I mean, OKC has shown us 0 games where they play poorly at home.
Yeah.
Their shitters have all been on the road, and that makes sense with Denver having such a good home court advantage. I say I feel 65% confident that OKC closes it out.
That's a fair amount. The fact that this series is even in 7
It's
is
insane.
still just like
Shout out the Nuggets either way.
what are we doing here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, OKC trolled a few games, but also shout out the Nuggets, man. Again, whenever they fired their coach, they felt dead in the water.
Yes.
And it wasn't just
Okay.
they locked
Okay.
in.
They
They
sat
sat up.
up.
They got the controller. Even if they lose game 7, I don't care. This has been a great performance. Like, not only is it like always a red flag to fire your coach, I would say, actually, never mind. I said always. It's never happened before. So not only is it a red flag to fire
it
your
happened
coach
2 weeks prior.
2 weeks prior, I think it was like less than 10 games left. Obviously, a tremendous red flag that alone, that injected turbulence makes you think, okay, well, they're cooked, right? Like that can't be good. But also, the reason he was fired is they were defending so piss poor. The morale was so piss poor. Their morale is amazing right now. They are so locked in. It's a better defensive performance I could have ever imagined. Everyone's clicking, doing their playoff rising stuff offensively that you come to expect with way better defense than you could have expected. Win, lose, or draw, great performance by the Nuggets.
It's all about the others, man. Jamal Murray has to show up like he did tonight.
It's not like Kendrick
Shaq.
Perkins. Yeah.
Hi, Shaq.
Really?
That's just like the empty adages they always say on TV.
It fucking makes sense though. Really, it's not wrong, but it's like, all right, bro.
No,
what
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
He's not
True.
He's not wrong. It's
Yeah,
just
but
true.
it's like, what
Go-to.
else?
People got to score. You're right. It's true.
It's literally like, what else? I agree.
Yeah, but no, that's definitely what's going to decide it. The Nuggets need, like, Julian Strawther blew the door open, as well as the Thunder forgetting how to shoot. So who's going to blow
Can
the door
you
open this
believe
time?
I can't believe Michael Porter Jr. is out there playing with like a smoked brisket type shoulder. Like he hasn't been doing anything outside of just one dribble, pull up, spot up.
Listen, he was like
He airballed the floater earlier today, bro, and we were like, "What's going on?"
that was just weird. It's also,
It's all about surviving the minutes.
I feel like they're capping because for the past like week they're like, Michael Porter Jr. can't raise his arm above his shoulder. I've seen him move the arm. Like it's
You know why?
what?
Them fucking painkillers.
No.
He's out there off the horse tranquilizer. That's why he can lift his arm.
No, he's 100% vegan. Like I get it. I get
He's
it.
seeing stars every time he runs.
He has medical grade weed out there in Denver.
He goes to bed and he's like, he can't fucking move. His shoulders numb.
Damn, if that's the case for MPJ,
Damn,
what the fuck
that's
are they
tough.
giving Jamal Murray, man?
Bro, the perks wear off and he can't move his arm.
Did you see Jamal Murray on that bench? He looked so fucking pale.
Oh, just sick as hell, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't play like it. He looked healthy as fuck.
I know. He was over here
25.
yelling at the ref and some more shit.
Yeah, man. There we go. We've graded every single star player's playoff run so far. Live reacted to Game 6 of the best playoff series, I think, so far. Especially with this going Game 7. This has been the best playoff series so far for my money. It's time for TikTok time.
I went early.
Crown Eaters, rejoice!
Welcome to TikTok time.
Larry, no! Where'd you go? Back to Atlanta. Heist successfully completed.
It's not like you're about to start singing. Accidental rhyme.
I mean, shit, I could.
Thought it was a musical too.
Facts. With that being said, we are once again going to start with the draft. After 2 weeks of not doing one, we are back. Today, we're going to do another team-based draft, another blind one. I don't know if you guys have been noticing. I can't tell if I mentioned it or not. I can't remember. We've been doing these blind now. We decide the draft topic right before it starts, so no prep is available to be taken. Today, we're drafting teams with only players who played for the Toronto Raptors.
Fresh off the juice, fresh off the dome. This is
Off the
blind.
Off the juice? What kind of juice are you off?
It's terminology you guys don't understand. I don't expect you to understand it.
Okay. That being said, you guys know how this works. Only category is players who play for the Raptors. From now on, we're doing it where you have to pick a specific year or at least a specific version of that player. No prime versions. They have to be in the Raptors uniform. I got first pick. Mo got second pick. Donovan third pick.
Damn.
This is a balanced ass draft. This isn't the one I'd rather have first pick in. But with that being said, let's begin. First pick overall. Give me 2019 Kawhi Leonard.
Obvious pick.
Got
I like
to
that.
start with their best player.
Yeah, not a bad pick. I'd rather be in his position, but I'll take what I can get. So for my first pick, give me Probably the best version of Kyle Lowry. I think he made the All-Star game in 2016 and 2017. Give me Kyle Lowry in 2017.
Okay, I was not expecting Kyle Lowry to go second, but you can have him.
He's one of the greatest Raptors of all time, man.
Facts.
He is.
All-time Raptor.
And that just means
You just set Donovan up for an amazing start. Jesus Christ.
now I have buckets on buckets on buckets at my 2, Vince Carter.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah.
And then, see, this is tough because I don't see this is actually a tough decision because I'm not 100% sure where I want to go with this.
See, that's why I couldn't let Kyle Lowry slip in your hands.
I mean, come on. I'll get what, the 3rd, 4th greatest Raptor. We'll get DeMar DeRozan at the 3.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Buckets on buckets.
Okay.
DeMar and Carter is an interesting duo. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, Mo, who are you going next?
Okay, so I want to keep it wing guard centric because they have a whole lot of goddamn bigs, and we're honestly like spoiled from that perspective.
Damn.
So with that being said, T-Mac was a Raptor, right?
He was.
He was. I'm surprised he didn't pick him over DeMar.
Yeah, go ahead and put T-Mac at the 2. I completely forgot up until now.
Yeah, DeMar over T-Mac, that was baffling. Did not expect that.
Damn.
Give me Chris Bosh. How is he still here?
Nice.
Fair.
And, do I want to go big or small? Where should I put Chris Bosh? We'll go versatile. I'm going to put him at center.
Okay.
And then give me Pascal Siakam at power forward.
Fuck.
Give me a versatile defender.
Yeah, that's where...
That's where you were going?
Fuck. Yeah. I almost took Pascal, but shit.
Give me most improved player, Siakam.
One of the most underrated players in the NBA
Siakam.
consistently.
Got 6'8", 6'9", 6'11". Starting with some size.
Masai Ujiri's dream.
Yep.
You know what else is? Give me another African. At the power forward spot, give me Serge Ibaka.
Okay.
Serge Ibaka.
Clap it up for myself. Interesting. Okay, you definitely need the defense, so I
Yes.
see the vision.
And I need a big badly. So at my center, I'll take Marc Gasol.
Damn.
Okay. Yes, and that first year he was there, special.
It was nice. And then at my, where am I going to go here? At my point guard, we're taking the version of them on this team. So I will take the version of Fred VanVleet, but the one that where he had the baby,
Yeah.
right? The 3 games after he became a father. So I'm taking father.
So that's what.
Yes.
That's 19 Fred VanVleet.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough. Listen, they don't have a ton of point guards over the years, so that's fair.
All right. At my 4, give me Scotty Barnes.
Oh, I was gonna take him next. I was gonna do something hilarious.
Yeah, give me
Fuck.
Scotty Barnes.
You already have your 4. You have Serge. You want
Oh, my bad. 3. My bad.
Damn, I wish you didn't do that. I was gonna do something great.
Yeah. I almost forgot about him too, genuinely. I'm like, who the fuck is on this Raptors team? They're so irrelevant right now. Oh, Scotty. One
There
of
you
the
go.
best.
Oh, you don't have back-to-back picks. I was thinking.
That's a break where I'm like, that's good.
What point guards are left?
Listen, man, I could introduce you to his GOAT, one of his homies, Velasquez. Hey, man.
Oh,
Big
my
one.
homie, that's crazy.
Yeah, one of your own.
And my 2 guard, I need. I need 3-and-D players. Give me Danny Green at shooting guard. Put together. I'm putting together the 2019 Raptors. I need a
Okay.
glue guy.
Okay.
And then who? I can't think of any point guards. I genuinely cannot remember any point guards that played for the Toronto Raptors outside of Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. Wait, who else did they have?
Listen, Emmanuel Quickly's there right now.
Yeah, I guess quickly. I
Jamal
can't think of
Sheed. Come
Shed.
on, man. Shed, my bad.
Dude, who played point guard before Kyle Lowry? They were such a depth. Is there something I'm forgetting? We're just here forever trying to think of a point guard.
You got it. It's not my pick.
I mean, we could talk openly, bro. Like,
I'm trying
shit.
to think of my 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Ooh. Yeah. Damn. Okay.
I can't think of any other point guards. I guess give me Emmanuel quickly. I guess that's
Emmanuel
what I'm taking.
Quickly. Yikes.
Is
All
anybody,
right.
is anybody I forgot about? You guys don't need point guards anymore.
I'm right with you. I can't think of any point. That's why I took Kyle Lowry so fucking fast because I'm like, yo, they're stacked when it comes to the wings and the bigger players. I can stack those guys last. So I was like,
There must be people from the early 2010s. I mean, early 2000s and 90s. I can't remember.
we did.
But I really can't remember any other point
Yo,
guards.
he forgot about T-Mac too, bro. So I'm like,
No, I think he knew. I think he picked DeMar over him.
No, yeah, I did.
Oh, really?
No, DeMar had some good years. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like peak. If you're not asking him to play LeBron, it's like that version of DeMar is very good.
I'm looking at point guards now.
If anything, I completely forgot about Chris Bosh, which is wild.
Yeah.
Which is wild because I was having a discussion earlier today about how you're not going to erase Chris Bosh from history.
Yo, they have no point guard.
Really?
I don't.
What are names that you see? Are like
TJ
names?
Ford. I could pick Lou Williams, I guess. Point
Yikes.
guard wise, Jose Calderon, Damon Stoudemire.
Yikes.
Yeah.
He's
right.
a hooper.
Wait, it says Chauncey Billups. Did he play there when he was washed?
What's that sound?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways. Okay, at the 5, I got a lot of ways to go. I
There's
can
a
go.
noise in the house.
I could either move Serge and put him at the 5 and go small and add even more like perimeter depth to this team.
Just take
Or-
Chris Boucher.
Why would I do that?
Just do it.
I know what I said earlier when it comes to Serge, but I don't literally mean it. I like diversity on my team. And with that being said, I'm doing the exact opposite. OG Anunoby, welcome to the team. You're at the 4. Move Serge Ibaka to the 5. Our perimeter defense is nasty. Don't ask me about size.
Fair enough.
We're African. We got it in our heart.
Yeah, you got a well-rounded team. I see it. Donovan, who is your power forward to round out this roster?
Man, this team sucks.
Your team really don't suck for real.
Well, no, I don't have a glue guy who could bring it all together.
Yes, you do. Shit, I can think of him right now. I ain't saying his name.
I'm not taking the hometown guy.
He's not a hometown guy either.
I'm blanking.
Blanking like shit.
And so what I'm gonna do
Flashbangs.
is what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just go with buckets on buckets. We're gonna put Brandon Ingram at the 4.
Okay. Hasn't played a single game
once.
there. Can you even have that?
I can't. That's kind of nasty, man.
We're saying people that are you picked a version of them on this team. We've never seen him in a uniform.
He's literally never in photo shoots.
That means you drafted a player who's on the bench. You lose automatically.
Damn. You got 4 guys out there. PJ Tucker was right there. You remember the LeBron stopper? The glue guy. He is the glue guy.
I damn sure forgot. I mean, he wasn't like relevant on the Raptors yet. He made his career after that.
No, I mean, you remember they made the in-season trade like back in 2016 or 17?
And they got PJ. They was like, oh
yeah, just for LeBron to fry him into smithereens.
He became one of like the GOAT role players after that with Houston, so I wasn't even thinking about him as a Raptor.
Yeah.
But okay, so for audio listeners, I got Emmanuel Quickly, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Chris Bosh.
I got Kyle Lowry, T-Mac, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Serge Ibaka. Go ahead, say your team. What's your chest?
All right,
Figure it out.
I have
Louder, I can't hear you.
I have NBA Finals Fred VanVleet.
Okay, had to clarify that.
Raptors GOAT Vince Carter.
Okay, who's DeMar DeRozan?
What a fucking atrocious fit.
top 3 all-time leading
Dude,
scorer.
that Carter
DeMar
DeMar Ingram is so nasty. How are they gonna play?
This stupid ass team. And Gasol needs the ball too. To pass.
What the fuck?
I have Brandon.
Yo, their defense is fried. Holy shit.
Siakam is cooking Brandon Ingram.
I have Brandon ready to go Ingram. And Mark, Mr. Memphis Gasol.
Dude, Mark is gonna be fighting for his life in the paint, bro.
Goddamn.
Well,
Listen, we decided to start doing these blind. We wanted to inject some randomness. Goddamn, we got some randomness. I have Emmanuel Quickly on my team.
Emmanuel Quickly might be the most random player.
I looked at it after I was done with my team. I don't even think I made a bad pick. I don't know who else they got. So maybe I ended up doing the right choice. But Jesus Christ, their point guard room is not deep.
Let's wrap this up.
Damn.
Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you 2 NBA teams. You let me know which one would win in one game 7.
One game single.
One game 7. Which team is, win or go home? Who are you taking?
All right, let's do it.
5 Allen Iversons or 5 Zach Edey's?
Ooh, it's 5 Allen Iversons and it's not close. I don't think being 7'5" and having to play 48 minutes of basketball.
Oh, he's dead.
It's too much cardio. I'm going with the Allen Iversons.
Okay, well, let's say you have 15 of them. Let's say it's a bunch. Let's say the cardio is a factor. You have the depth.
Oh, then I'm going with Zach Edey's.
Oof. So what's more likely? Is Allen Iverson going to get out and make Zach Edey run and outrun him in transition? Or are they going to slow it down and they're just going to fucking play volleyball over the Allen Iverson
He
heads?
can't guard him. He's 7'5".
Yeah, but at the same time, too, like, Allen Iverson was in those passing lanes.
We're playing
if
a
anything was
zone.
it.
I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. We might go boxing one. Right? We might go boxing one with Zach Edey's. And you're going to have to beat us taking jump shots. And I'm taking 7-5 over 6-1 post up all day.
But Allen Iverson's athletic. He might be able to squirm.
I'm taking
Allen.
Allen Iverson easy, bro. I'm taking Allen Iverson.
Zach Edey.
I know Zach Edey can move his feet better than the average big, but this is one of the quickest guards of all time.
If it was Yao Ming, I think it would be easy. Because it's Zach Edey and Allen Iverson is so talented and so athletic, I don't know.
See, y'all forget what Zach Edey was doing at Purdue. Almost won a national championship
Against
by himself. Straight post-ups
Yeah.
on 6'8" guys.
And we saw what Sengun and Steven Adams did in the playoffs with those rebounds. We got 5 of those motherfuckers now.
If Allen Iverson misses one shot, the game's over.
And guess what? He's not
right.
going to.
It's all right.
Sounds like Zach Edey gets the victory. Next up, 5 Ben Simmons or 5 Klay Thompsons?
Dude, Klay
Thompson obviously has a shooting.
Prime.
Everyone's in their prime. So Ben Simmons is going to shackle him. Klay Thompson can't dribble like that.
Ooh.
The defense of Ben Simmons is crazy.
But he can't shoot.
You're right.
Wait, time out. Question. Is this game being played on an NBA floor or in an LA Fitness gym?
NBA floor.
NBA
Okay,
floor.
LA floor, Klay Thompson.
Preseason NBA, though, so there's less pressure.
Ooh.
He still did. He took one and everyone was like, oh my God.
They lost their mind,
Wow.
bro.
I'm going Klay Thompson.
Yeah, I guess the shooting, I mean,
The
5 Ben
defense is
Simmons,
ridiculous.
It's
though, from
crazy.
Ben Simmons. Like, it's straight locks everywhere. So I don't know how Klay will even need. He doesn't need any space
Think
to
about
shoot,
how
actually.
much Klay Thompson runs.
Yeah, he
And
has to
then
run
just
off the ball.
5 of them.
Nobody dribbles.
Yeah.
Everyone just runs off ball nonstop.
Just
5 guys
of them.
spinning around. They'll get shots eventually. Klay Thompson got it.
Okay, it's Klay.
Okay. 5 Larry Birds or 5 Magic Johnsons?
See, this question divided America in 1984. And I'm still not sure we have an answer.
I mean, if you want to go the shooting route, obviously the team Larry has more shooting. The team Magic, though, that team's just fast. That team's just running. They're just annoying. I lean Larry.
I lean
Larry
Larry because
rebounder.
he does feel more all around in terms of his shooting.
Probably the better
rebounding.
one-on-one defender, better rebounder, has the
Yeah.
shooting, can still pass.
Underrated playmaker for sure.
But listen,
But if it's 5-on-5 and Magic Johnson's passing is everywhere,
that collective IQ,
it's a hive mind.
ooh,
Yeah, but he's passing to who? Magic Johnson again.
that's not too bad.
Magic
That's not that bad.
Magic Johnson in the open court, he's 6'9".
He's 6'9" for sure. You're right, but the finishing is there. But it's not like
Magic.
there's no disrespect here, Magic. I just feel like Larry's team is more equipped, and there's more to his game, more layers.
That's charged.
When it comes to Larry,
That's charged.
What do you mean? How's it charged?
That's-
The team Larry, they play the game the right way.
Saying his game is more layer. That's charged.
Larry has a bag. Magic does not have as
You
much
know,
of a
Larry's
bag.
sneaky athletic. He plays the game the right way.
It's just more depth. He just thinks about the game a little bit more. Shut up. Nah,
It's a more intelligent brand of basketball.
That's charged.
We're going Magic Johnson. Carmelo Anthony's versus 5 Paul Georges.
Carmelo Anthony birthed Paul George.
What does that mean?
Get the fuck
They
out of
all
here.
want to play like him. It's Carmelo.
That team of Mellows is just like an AAU team on a Sunday, bro.
Bunch of
They're
jab
just
steps.
hella bag work, jab steps, no defense, terrible ball movement. I'm leaning towards the Paul George. Easy.
Do you think good basketball exists in AAU? Like, no, that's what it's about. It's about getting buckets, and that's what 5 Melos will do.
Lift this up a little bit.
I promise you.
I
This is
think
bad basketball.
Melo's obviously the better player, but 5 Paul George's game is probably more equipped to be cloned and win as a unit. So
Yeah.
probably Paul George.
You can sit down and ask Paul George to be a point guard, spot up shooter. You can ask him to be the best defender and also get rebounds. When it comes to Melo, hey man,
He can get rebounds.
Yeah, for sure,
He's
absolutely.
gonna have to.
What else? There's gonna be 5 of them trying to get rebounds because they can't do shit else. What do you mean? They're gonna be telling each other, "Get the fuck out of here," and they're gonna fight each other on the court.
Do you think Paul George can lock up Carmelo Anthony?
No, not
He'll
lock
do
up.
a better job of locking. He'll do
Yeah.
a better job in second
Yeah.
over chance than
No.
That's true.
Melo has a
Yeah,
Melo
true.
has a chance of Paul George.
He can defend Melo a lot better than Melo can defend Paul George.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Now that doesn't matter in like a one-on-one, like actual NBA debate, but for
Yeah.
this, it probably matters.
I'm going Melo.
Surprise, surprise.
You're watching the most irritating brand of basketball. Of 5 of them,
The
that's
5 of
crazy.
them, that's like, it exasperates all the weaknesses.
Yeah.
5 of them would be crazy. That'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Like Melo might be the biggest gulf between how good he is with 1 of him versus how good there is with 5 of him. That might be the biggest
Now we're
difference.
getting disrespectful.
No, like just the style of play works when there's 4 people to compliment him, not when there's 5 of him.
Shit, man.
Saying he's the worst, and it's like when there's
Sure.
I'm not gonna say
Sure. Like 5 Ben Simmons worth. So I mean, among good players. But okay, we can go Paul George.
Come on now.
5 James Hardens versus 5 Tracy McGrady's. Graphics wrong, but it's supposed to be James Harden.
Ooh, James Harden versus Tracy McGrady.
It's T-Mac. We said in a game 7 who's gonna win, and now you got 5 guys who don't want to be on the floor. This is Tracy McGrady.
That is true. I didn't think about the game
Okay.
sevens.
We're not gonna act like Tracy McGrady has some vaunted playoff career.
He is right when it comes to most disappointing players in the playoffs. Hey, T-Mac
James Harden is
right
literally
there.
number 1.
He might be number 2.
Tracy McGrady.
He's arguably number 1.
Okay,
T-Mac's reaching for the baton.
So number 1 is gonna choke more than number 2.
T-Mac
enough.
might be number 1.
No, he's not. He's not a bigger choker than James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden choked on bigger stages, but he's gotten to those stages.
T-Mac ain't even get a chance to.
T-Mac was being led by Doc Rivers.
Fair enough.
so is James Harden.
True. Doc on Doc action. I mean, Tracy McGrady's bigger, probably better off-ball player. It's fair to go Tracy McGrady.
I got Harden.
Much better off.
He can't guard the post. Shit. He can get no rebounds like Harden either. I'm taking Harden.
All right. 5 Rudy Gobert's versus 5 Patrick Beverley's.
Rudy Gobert can't catch the ball. So if he passes to each other, it's going out of bounds. I'm going Pat Bev.
Dude, the amount of times that Pat Bev is going to push around and try to bitch Rudy is going to be hilarious. I easily got Pat Bev too.
This would be the worst game anybody's ever seen. I'd rather watch 13-year-olds play basketball than watch this game go on.
This would be hilarious though. Actually, no, I'm going Rudy Gobert. It's too much size.
How the fuck is Pat Bev going to score?
You're right. It's a lot of size, but how is, just like you said that, how is Rudy Gobert going to score?
Offensive rebounds and putbacks. There's no way Pat Bev is going to score one-on-one when he has Rudy Gobert and 3 of them behind him to rotate.
Dude, Pat Bev is going to get so low on Rudy Gobert, and Rudy's going to look so uncoordinated.
But
bro.
there's been moments in Pat Bev's career where he's gone out, dropped like 40, and he's like, listen, I got this bag work, but I choose to do it. Maybe he does that.
Drop 40 where? Tel Aviv? Does he have a 40-point game in the NBA?
Yeah.
I can't remember. How many
No way.
It was in Philly.
His career has 40?
No
Philly,
way.
like 2022 Philly?
Didn't he have like a 40-point game?
I might be forgetting. At that stage of his career, I don't remember that.
No, because
way.
remember there was a time where
You might be right. I don't
I
know.
think his
Embiid
career has
was
like
out.
30 something.
I feel like I
Not
vividly
40.
remember 40. I might
That's a
just
dream,
be lying.
bro. That's a
I might be
wild
lying.
dream.
I'm pulling up the game logs now.
You were on shrooms, bro.
I'm going 21, 22.
No way. Pat Bev career high. What is that looking like?
I can't tell because Google's fucking horrible now, and I'm seeing all this AI
His
overview.
career high in NBA points is 26. Wait. Oh, wait. You're right. This is fucking horrible. It says 38.
It is 26.
It's 26.
26 in Philadelphia versus Boston.
But outside of the NBA, it's
You know what you're
38.
thinking? It was 38 minutes. 26 points in
That's
38 minutes.
He just be out there for a long time. I'm like, dang, man.
Look, it's 26 points in 38 minutes.
Oh, shit.
See, that's a stupid way of putting the numbers. But that's hilarious.
You gave him 40?
That's
In what world, bro? Holy shit.
Rudy Gobert wins.
He had a game. I guess he was just hooping. I was like, yo.
See? Pat
This
Bev,
is
40
Isaiah
minutes?
Thomas.
Pat Bev, 40 minutes? That's a recession indicator, bro. That's insane.
I can't believe I put a 40 piece on his career.
Yo, that's like one of the most insane lies you've ever told, bro. 40 points by Patrick Bev?
We almost believe his stupid ass.
Yeah, 40? That's a crazy
I
lie.
was so sure.
We gotta kill him with hammers. He can't breathe. He's so flabbergasted.
40? I was like, whoa. Slow your roll, buddy.
Malachi Flynn has scored 50 in an NBA game.
Yeah, that's believable.
If you tell me anybody in the world has scored 40 in an NBA game, I would say, okay. Like,
Except for Patrick Beverley,
I
bro.
can't breathe, bro.
40?
5 Steph Currys versus 5 Draymond Greens.
Oh, 5 steps easy, bro.
5 Draymond Greens is shackles, though. That's kind of crazy.
Will Seth make it out alive?
Oh, yeah. We also got headlocks.
Ooh, the screen. Ooh.
he knows. He wouldn't touch that light-skinned man.
You're right. He might. Yeah. All 5 of them, they're hive mind connected. They would know. They would hate to screen Steph Curry.
Can you
It'd be against their
imagine?
morals.
They know that in another life, you can't touch him.
The gravity that one step provides is already breaking the game of basketball, but having 5 of
I
them
know.
is. Oh,
So you're saying Draymond Green respects Steph Curry too much to even try? He'd lay down his weapons?
Yeah,
Probably.
Damn.
that's what I'm saying.
Listen, everyone, you know where the money's made. LaMelo Balls versus 5 Gilbert Arenas.
You remember earlier when you said the biggest gap between having like, how good and having 5 of you are, that's LaMelo Ball.
Facts. 5 LaMelos would be absolutely nonsense.
This is AAU basketball to its core.
But the 5 Gills might start getting mad at each other. It might not go too well.
Yeah, but 5 LaMelos would be
the
4
best Gills
player.
having to watch 1 Gill cook. That's not going to go well.
I don't know. This is the best team LaMelo has ever played with, bro. 5 of hims.
It's going to look like the last scene in Kingsman in that locker room after.
Defense is fried. I'm definitely going with Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, this is just disgusting. I don't even know where to begin.
What's this problem?
It's crazy.
I haven't watched the new the Netflix doc.
Yeah.
that was telling the story, but like that's insane. You brought guns to the locker room. What are you on right now?
That's crazy as hell.
That's
He
hilarious.
said, "Shoot me."
Next thing we're going to do. We've talked a lot over the years about NBA logos and how some are better now, some are better back then, done a lot of old versus new. Today, we are going to put every 90s NBA logo into a tier list.
Okay.
I went to 1996, the year they expanded to Vancouver and Toronto, and we got every single logo from that year, and we're going to put them into a tier list. S through F, how good they are.
I love this.
Now, some of these pictures got cut off, but you guys know how they look.
Okay.
Let's start off by doing some of the easy ones that are... actually, no. Let's start off. Let's do the expansion teams. Toronto, where are you putting the Raptors logo?
I mean,
S-tier.
this is S tier. This is one of
The best logos of all time.
yes,
Easy.
hands down.
They came into the league like this. They joined up and immediately had the most sauce in the entire league.
That's hard. That's hard to do.
That's pressure. That's
26
pressure.
cities got flexed on by Canada. Day
Oh
one.
my God, bro.
Never
That's
again.
pressure.
Never again.
Generational.
Now, was
Easy.
the Encore product that good? No, but they were fresh to death. And then we got the Vancouver Grizzlies, who also joined the same year.
They also
Again?
the same thing.
S tier, one of the
Canada.
greatest logos of
Hey,
all
Canada
time.
came in crazy.
They
Those
came
are
in.
two, like, to this day, people are longing for the aura of those logos. Like, the throwbacks
Yeah.
these days are constantly trying to catch that high again. And this is how they started.
Insane.
And sadly, nobody will ever catch the high
Nope.
that they hit.
Now, let's do some of the easy ones that are still the same as they are today. 76ers.
I'll go C.
C, exactly.
It's like a regular logo.
Yeah, it's a very
basic.
good classic logo. Nothing crazy, but it's good.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Nah, it kind of is a pretty good classic logo. Maybe it's B.
I don't know about B. I do
No.
feel like there are other logos that's above that. But we can move it.
Another
later.
one that's still the same, Indiana Pacers.
This one, actually,
C maybe?
I'm going D. I don't think it's amazing.
I don't think it's a particularly good logo either. It's completely fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I'm going D.
I definitely think the 76ers logo is stronger.
Oh, easily. You're right.
So that's fair. Those are different tiers to me.
okay.
Sacramento Kings.
Same logo.
I think that's B. Oh wait, hold on.
It's hard to...
I don't think it's a bad logo.
It's a very good logo. It has character. You know, the Kings implies some regalness, some weapons, some medieval looks
Battle.
to it. And then they have the crown on there. They have some like swords in the back, a good typeface.
We
Sounds
can
like
go
a solid B.
We can go B.
I feel...
I think it's better than the Sixers one.
apparently I just love the Sixers one because I don't, but I think it's fine if you guys want to go B.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Celtics? They had this logo that's the same, but it's like black and white back then.
See, you need more color in this one, and so for that reason, I'm gonna drop it to B.
It's a sign of the times. We put more color into Lucky over the years.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh.
Checks out.
Where are we going with black and white Lucky?
I put him in D.
D. What'd you say?
I said B.
Sounds like C, right in the middle.
There we go.
Actually, that's a good logo. We gotta go B.
Really?
I agree with
That's what-
Donovan.
yeah,
it's a
it's a
Celtics
good-
logo.
It's a good logo.
Okay, now let's go back to one that's from the 90s. What do we want to do with the Atlanta Hawks?
That's a fire logo.
It's a good logo.
Great
This is A.
logo. It's
This
an
is
easy
it's
A.
an A logo.
This is the first year they
Damn
switched to
near
it,
S.
1996. Before this, they had the one they have now. So, again, 1996 came around and all these teams got their swag up. Got all the graphics up. I like it.
we're going A. Again, it's not as this one is not as timeless as the Raptors or as the Grizzlies in terms of like people wanting to get it. But for this era, and even now, it's like, yes, you are doing the thing. You have personality. I know I can clearly see that you are a Hawk.
Yeah.
But like, I like that.
Have you ever seen a starter jacket with this logo across the chest?
It's amazing.
Coming out of both
They
sides.
went platinum back in
The
the day.
wide angle across the chest, like layered across your collarbone.
Y'all don't know about that.
Platinum, bro.
It's way better on clothes than it is on a jersey.
Yes.
And that means something. You got a versatile logo. Like the 76ers logo is good on a jersey. It
Yeah.
doesn't go crazy on clothes.
Yeah, I agree.
Or is that wrong?
No, I think
No,
you're
it
right.
kind of does.
Never mind.
It's simple enough to where it like you can put it on. You can put on clothes and it doesn't overtake wherever you're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
But it can amplify it.
Okay. What about the Golden State Warriors?
This logo's kind of ass.
This logo looks classic as hell. This looks like it's more from the 70s than it is from the 90s.
Out of all the logos that we have here, I think it's clearly one of the worst.
Yeah, I think it's D or F.
I'm going
Me
D.
personally, I'm comfortable putting it in F. It'd be our first F. For sure.
I don't know if we'll go D, but actually, is there worse logo?
It might be movable. Okay, we can put it in D for now.
We'll go D.
We'll
I think,
bookmark it.
I don't know. I guess it looks like Western-like, so I guess it's supposed to be like the gold rush back in the day, like origin of the Golden State, so I guess that's fine. Doesn't look great.
Yeah, there's so many other ways to make that same idea better.
Just like this Pecos Bill logo, I don't like it.
Yeah, they just took their rough draft and just ran with it.
Yeah, maybe it was like nice and simplistic back then. It aged horribly to me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
And we also know that they have like the greatest logo, one of the greatest logos of all time, coming soon after this in their modern day logo, and even the one with the Warriors pretty good. So it pales in comparison.
True. What's next?
The Seattle Supersonics. And this is the year they changed to this branding before. Before this, it was the green and yellow. They didn't have the red. And they added this really big typeface. They have the tower on it.
That's fire as fuck.
The dark green.
I'm putting this in A. Might go S.
Slow down.
I don't know about
Grab
S.
the wall. No, but A is fine. It can't be S, but A is 100% deserved.
It's also like the Hawks where you could put this on some clothing.
It goes.
It goes.
Yeah.
And the jerseys were good too. Like the color scheme is really nice with the dark green and the red and the little yellow. A is the minimum, I think, but S feels a bit much.
When the Mavericks move right out of Dallas, if they go to
up for
Seattle,
discussion.
I hope they bring back the Sonics in this color.
Cooper Flag, you're gonna look glorious in dark green.
He's gonna save Seattle hoops.
What about the Denver Nuggets? They had the classic logo from the Melo era that we grew up with, but it's in the darker colors, not the baby blue.
I feel like this is one where it looks good on the jersey, but the logo isn't great.
Yeah, it looks ugly and dull when you're looking at it like this, but it works on the jersey.
So
it's pretty like it feels more Denver, I think, because like the Nuggets, it has a little like slight gold in there. It feels rugged. It feels outdoorsy like Denver is. So I don't think it's terrible.
sounds like a C to me.
Yeah. Again, I just like the 76ers logo, I guess. So I look at it side by side and I say I'd rather have Philly, but that's definitely a C logo.
Yeah.
It's completely okay. Bulls, same as it's always been.
S tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. As some of these logos are gonna get dinged for being boring, being the same. You never got to change the Bulls logo. It's the best one in the NBA. Lakers, pretty much the same, but the purple appears lighter.
Then it doesn't hit the same. But
you know,
it's ARS to me.
We have to put it in the same tier as the Celtics one, where it's a solid logo. It's good. There's slight changes to it, but overall, it's still better than some of the other ones.
Yeah, the Lakers logo is obviously so iconic. The colors are good, but it's not like some breathtaking logo on its own. It's just because of who it's associated with. You glance at this, you think Magic Johnson. You don't glance at this and think, whoa, graphic design is their passion. It's not amazing.
Exactly.
Okay, it's hard to detach that. You know, some of these logos, you think about certain things. You got to look at it just off the merit of the design.
Right.
What about the Brooklyn Nets? We got this one with the gradient in it.
This is so 1990s.
Fucking ass. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is the worst of the 90s.
Put this in F the fastest way possible.
It's a lot going on.
The gradient, this looks like the Captain America popsicle.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
I was just about to say it's melting too as well. It's been out for 15 minutes.
Now, the jerseys that go with that, stupendous. But making the actual logo gradient is bullshit.
Slow down.
That is crazy. That
You're
looks
doing
so
too much.
bad.
Too much dip under chip.
And that's
way
everything
too much.
wrong with the 90s. Some things we look back from 90s design and we're like, whoa, those bright colors look so good, so much character. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck were they cooking? Calm down. Sometimes you're like, oh, maybe we do need minimalism in that in graphic design.
Yeah, it's too bright. It's too much.
It literally looks like a popsicle.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. What are you guys going to do with the Miami Heat? Same logo, but it's orange instead of red.
I'm also putting them in F tier.
I like the orange.
I don't like this color of orange.
I think it looks white hot.
Nah.
I like it. It's kind of fire to me.
Looks more like a flame. I low-key might like it. No, I like the one that did in between this one and the modern one where it's like red with white. They don't have the yellow. Mm-hmm. But this is still strong to me. It can't be F.
I think it belongs in I think it belongs in C for me personally, but if you want to vote for D, I'm okay with that.
Oh, we're going C then. If that's the range, I'm going as high as we can. I think it's a great logo. I thought we were talking about A or B. It's the Heat. It's a flaming ball. It's dope.
I just don't like the color.
Okay. Dallas Mavericks. It's cut off in this graphic, but it's the M with the cowboy hat and the green ball behind it.
One of the only top, and actually their logo's been strong consistently. The jerseys have always sucked. I don't like this. I don't mind this.
Oh, okay.
I don't love it. You guys like it?
I like it. Me personally, I think it's one of the stronger, simplistic logos here. And I think it might belong in B for me.
I think we can go C because it gives a little bit of personality.
With the cowboy hat?
Yes.
I feel like that's crazy. It reminds me so much of that Golden State Warriors one that we have in D. Like I feel like the Lakers and Celtics is like so much better.
I don't know about so
Nah,
much
the
better.
Warriors is kind of boring where like...
Okay, I'm okay with it being in C actually because you're right. It doesn't belong in the same tier as the rest of these guys.
I can't go that far. But the cowboy hat's cool. But outside of that, it's just a blue M.
That's what I think separates it from just a basketball in a P and just a regular like yellow basketball. I think,
Okay, C's fine then. If that separates it, one tier above feels adequate to me. Detroit Pistons.
Same ass logo, right?
Very classic.
But it's a good logo. It's a very good classic logo that's withstood the test of time. They brought it back for a reason.
Sounds like it might be a B.
Is it a B? Is it an A?
Yeah, all these classic logos are going B.
Can't be A.
That feels fine.
B, yeah.
Okay. Spurs. They have the same logo, but they had the Fiesta colors.
I love this. The Fiesta colors are amazing. I'm putting this in A.
S could be in the cards.
It's in contention. And it might be by the end of this video.
I'm willing to hear arguments for S. I don't think it's crazy if either one of you feel that way, but A is the minimum.
I agree. I don't have an argument for S just
You know
yet.
what? Let's go S. Let's go S.
The colors are really strong, and that feels like, if you got to think about like the spirit of the 90s too, like for the era, this is like so good. Everyone in the 90s loved these bright colors, and this one works. It doesn't look goofy today.
And it's also very interesting because they had these colors, and the jerseys were still black and white.
Yeah.
And so like you have these black and white jerseys, everything else, color on them. It's a very nice accent and a very nice way of incorporating different things, but keeping the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta put this at S.
And you want to talk about starter jackets from back in the day. The Fiesta colored jackets are crazy.
Starter jacket, extraordinaire. I see it on here. I see the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay, where do you want to go with the Charlotte Hornets?
That's S tier.
Oh, easy S tier as well. When you talk about the 90s, like they're very much in that same conversation with the Spurs, the Grizzlies, and all that.
Yeah. Again, they as a team were more popular for their logo being used in fashion than they were for playing basketball. And it wasn't even close. They were a phenom strictly for the colors and strictly for how cool the jackets look.
I agree. There's no other team in the NBA that could say, yeah, you have more clout based off of your colors and your mascot and your logo overall than anything else.
You know what it is? It's similar to how the Bulls were in the 2010s in the swag era when everybody had the Bulls snapbacks and the Jordans that are black and red. That's how the Hornets were in the 90s.
Yeah.
They put out Jordan 5s, grape colorway, strictly for the Hornets color because they're popular.
Hey, man. And they went.
They're crazy.
And they went. Jordan 8 Aquas?
Now, has Jordan ever had anything close to relation to that color in any teams he's played for? Fuck no. The colors were just that popular in the 90s.
Had to do it.
And they're hard as hell. Okay. Washington Bullets.
Man, this is not a fantastic logo.
Why are guns not on the logo?
Why is there no Blix in this logo?
Yeah, I want to give this an F.
F? Oh, it's cut off right now, but it says Bullets.
I know what. Yeah, I know the.
The L's.
I know what they're going for.
Yeah,
again,
the L's are hands. They're hands looking up, reaching for a rebound.
I don't see a switch.
But it's the Bullets.
You don't see a switch.
I'm just like, if I look at this team, if I show this team to a 10-year-old, out of all these logos, they're gonna be like, this is the most forgettable one because it just doesn't mean anything.
No magazines and sites. No holo tips. No scopes. Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with the branding. Now, does it say, when it says bullets, why were they called that? I don't know. Is it like bullet trains? Like, because clearly it's not guns.
No one knows the history of Washington, bro.
Somebody does. Let us know in the comments. We're sleeping. I don't know why they're called that. We can go D. New York Knicks. Same logo, but it has that black drop shadow. The color's a little different. They have the gray in the background.
A or S, easy. Easy go for me.
I can go S, but I can go A.
This logo just feels so like it's the NBA to me, damn near.
Yeah, he's doing too much. Look at him. He's getting excited.
So I was looking at why the bullets were. So I heard you. I thought you were talking mess. But yes, this is emblematic of the entire league. And we do represent everybody. Yeah. We can put this in S.
We can go A, I think. Do you want to go S or A?
I'm going to go A.
There we
Of
go.
course.
S is too much for me. S is too much for me, but I'm cool with A if you are.
Okay, so in 1946, the Baltimore franchise was nicknamed Bullets after a nearby ammunition foundry.
So it is off a
Not
gun.
good,
It
bro.
is off
Baltimore?
It is off of straight bullets.
What year did they change to the Wizards? Is it
City,
was it like
bro?
around the War on Terror? Why did they do that?
They changed to.
Did they change to the Wizard after Columbine?
No,
That would be hilarious. That'd be
no.
crazy.
But they did change it because they wanted to get away from like violence.
Yes.
In the book.
But I'm sure there was an
insane,
event.
bro.
I'm sure there was an event. What year was
In
it?
1997, they rebranded as the Wizards.
What year was Columbine? Because that's when school shootings got on the map.
That was like, this is a weird thing to talk about.
That's insane.
Crazy combo. I bet they were motivated to.
Saying on the map for that also is like.
But that's when we entered the national
I'm not
conversation.
gonna keep
That's when
going.
gun rights became an issue.
What's the next logo?
The Milwaukee Bucks.
I also love this.
Purple.
If you are in S tier, you are a starter jacket all-star. And I do think that the Milwaukee Bucks in this logo is up there.
Yeah, the purple one is cooler than the red one, I think.
Really? I think the red one might be cooler.
Actually, I don't know. Am I lying?
I think the red one sticks out a lot more.
I'm just thinking of the jerseys for the purple. Maybe the red's better for the logo.
You're right.
But this is logos only, no jerseys.
The jerseys are hard.
Logos only, I think this might be a A.
I'll go.
I'm
A.
cool with A.
I'll go. A.
I'm cool with A. But like,
It's not one of like
Actually-
it's not one of the defining 90s logos, but it is as high as you can get.
I feel like maybe B. We've talked shit about this logo before, about how the new one is way cooler. How this is Bambi and the new one is like ferocious.
I don't think I said that though. Maybe I did. I've said a lot.
You said a lot of things.
I've said a lot. We'll go B
Yeah, I think B is probably fine.
just to protect myself.
Clippers.
F.
This logo is just such a great value version of the Lakers one. I can't believe they had this for so long. Looking back, it's comical that you join a city and you make a shittier version of the logo they have to the T.
F.
It's quite embarrassing. Like, thank God they have a logo with personality now.
Put it in
Did they keep the same logo until like 2013?
Yes.
Or 2015
Yes.
or 17 or something like that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Kept it for a long time and it was ass the whole time.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why their organization is so damning, probably.
No creativity in sight, just embracing the little brother syndrome. The Orlando Magic.
Now the logo doesn't feel amazing. Now the jerseys and everything around it.
Yeah.
This again, starter jacket all-star.
Yeah.
But
It's a
I don't
starter
know.
jacket all-star because of they have like the stars on the outside and stuff like that, and the branding around is really good. The logo is just like a typeface. It gets better eventually, but right here, it's kind of incoherent.
are we putting C for the logo?
I think we can go B because the stars and the branding is so good. But it would be S
But
tier.
they took it and ran with it.
Yeah, it would be S tier if the logo itself matched everything we know to be existing around it. So I feel like B's fine.
I'm fine with B.
Okay. Phoenix Suns. It's like
This
super
sounds-
neon in this one.
Like another A to me, man.
Yeah, it's basically the same logo, but you actually just typed out the team's name underneath. I like this. It's not
Again,
it's not
the
bad.
comment is fire. The purple behind that is elite. Phoenix Suns right under that. I think this is A. Could argue with me S.
Yeah, I think A is cool. Yeah, get that purple background, the bright orange.
Nice contrast.
A works for
Good
me.
job.
The Cleveland Cavaliers. You guys know I've said it before. I hate this era of branding for the Cavs, but some people like it. Some people like the black and blue. Not me.
I like the colors of it. I don't think that the actual logo is great.
That logo with just like the basket, and like it's like splashing.
That's it's like Microsoft Word.
Yeah, that's.
I put this in D, bro.
Yeah, this
for
is
that lack
ass.
of creativity
with
is
that.
not good at all.
If you like the jersey, it's because the blue with the arches looks really cool, and you can see the the contrast there.
And
The
I like
vision.
that.
The logo itself, I think, is quite trash.
do.
I would do F personally, but maybe I'm biased.
No,
Okay.
that's too much.
Yeah, I do.
Utah
not
Jazz.
F.
I'm putting them in F. I think if you
Wait.
I think if you just write them, if you just write your name out, I'm not really with that.
So do you like it more when later they made it smaller and it's just the J?
Yeah.
Because it's the J with the music note. They still have that.
Yeah, they
it's
just
cut out.
simply
cut out,
write it
it's
out.
cut out.
It's
my
cut
bad.
out. It's still on there. It's
Yeah,
still the
you're
music
right,
note.
you're right.
It's just purple.
This can't be F.
You're
It's
right.
not F.
I'm tripping.
You can say C bare minimum if you want to me. I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's solid
It is
branding.
definitely one of the better logos. It's like right above being mid.
But see, it's not the mountain logo. That was better. They switched to this and it's worse. So I think C is probably okay.
We'll go,
mid.
Yeah, we'll go see.
I'm fine with C.
The music note is nice though.
It's not today when it's just fucking black and white and it's horrible. So it's better than that. Houston Rockets.
This is S tier.
S tier?
This is S tier. This logo is
Easy
beautiful.
S tier.
Okay, you guys like the spaceship?
Yes. This is something that they need to go back to.
They've been back to it with their alternates, right?
I'm saying full time.
All time.
Yeah.
Okay. Blazers is exactly the same as it always has been.
F.
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 Just not good at all.
The jerseys are very nice.
I like the logo.
It's just written out Blazers.
Yeah, and there's some
No,
stroke
but
behind
you know
it
it
too.
has
That's
that little symbol. That was still there.
In the 90s one?
Oh.
I think so.
No, I don't think in this one.
Oh, but they definitely used that logo back then, didn't they?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
In general,
if it has the little thing, it can be in B tier, maybe C tier.
We'll just go C to be safe. I'm pretty sure they used that logo in
yeah,
1996.
they did.
In 96?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
But it's just like a part of it. It's not like intertwined.
Yeah, but you know they have smaller versions where they use just that. This is just what we pull from this website.
Yeah, I think this is a solid C tier.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Last but not least, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Hard. A tier.
Now the color's amazing. Jersey's amazing. Does the logo hold up?
Yes, it does. Yeah, yes, it does. And maybe I am biased because I've seen Anthony Edwards wear this logo in a throwback jersey.
Oh, you got the ant or attacks.
Anthony Edwards. He could have said any player. He could have said Nas Reed, Nickeil Alexander Walker.
They're not the best player on the team. Like
The AC shut off right when that happened, so it got deathly
so
quiet.
loud.
So we're going somewhere between S and B. I'm leaning towards A, right in the middle.
yes,
Is it on?
that's where I'm going.
If it's A, that means it's the worst logo on A.
We can go B if you feel.
I think it might sit better on.
No,
B.
I
Is
mean,
it better
it's-
than the Bucks logo?
Yes,
Ooh, nah, I lost you on that one. I think it's B.
actually, that's a tough conversation.
Yeah,
It's B.
it's probably B. That's fine. The jerseys are amazing. The logo itself,
Fine.
Wolf is kind of bitch made. The one today is a lot cooler, I think.
Yeah.
But the colors are strong.
You got
Colors are strong.
it. Yes.
But okay, this is a nice little spread. S tier, we got the Raptors, Grizzlies, Bulls, Spurs, Hornets, and Rockets. That feels fair to me. That feels like a good top tier.
Yeah. I like that.
Is this
Right.
a perfect tier list?
I think it's another.
TV3 perfect tier.
Oh my God.
Damn.
All we do is cook.
All right. Look at y'all.
Next thing we're going to do, let's do a 2025 NBA mock draft. You know, the lottery just happened, and it's on topic of conversation. Everyone's thinking, obviously, Cooper Flagg is a Dallas Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
What about after that? Lots of talk around what the Spurs are going to do it to, what Philly's going to do to try to retool, I guess, with Joel Embiid. We're going to go 1 through 10, and we're going to do a mock draft of what we think these teams will do at this point in the cycle when it's May 15th, and we don't really know shit about what teams are thinking. It's just off of what we would assume if we were in their shoes. Who wants number 1 pick?
I'll take one.
Okay, you got 1. Mo, you got 2. I got 3, and we'll cycle through until everybody picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go
Donovan,
ahead.
who is the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft?
It is Dylan. Nah, Cooper Flagg is the number 1 overall pick in this draft.
Yep, that's an easy one, obviously. Dallas Mavericks got blessed. They're not going to do something stupid. They're going to take him.
They've already reported we are taking Cooper Flagg, and we're not listening to any trade offers for
So
it.
let me be clear. We're taking Cooper Flagg.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Obama voice. Real quick.
Mo, who's number
With
2?
the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select, will later trade, Dylan Harper.
Yeah. Obviously, if Giannis requests a trade, maybe they end up trading it. If they stick here, they should take Harper and not look back. Some fans are like, oh, we need a small forward. Pick Ace Bailey. We
Shut
don't need
up.
a guard.
Yeah,
Bro,
no. The
pick the
Spurs.
star.
Yeah, exactly. The Spurs are they are in position, but really, I think this is the worst thing to do in the NBA. Always go for talent in the NBA
Yeah.
draft.
Now,
90%
when
of
they
the time.
pick him, I've seen reports that they think they can play him, Fox, and Castle at the 3.
Yuck.
I think that would be bullshit. So you got to figure it out later. At some point, they got to make a roster that makes sense and get some good wings in here. But I think you're much better off picking Harper and deciding who you got to trade later than trying to find that wing just for the sake of finding him.
Exactly. I agree.
If there was like another clear-cut guy on the same level of Harper that you could say it's preference positionally, he's just as good, fine. I think Harper is like, in the same way Flagg is clearly number 1, Harper's clearly number 2, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
an
fair.
easy conversation.
Number 3, I'm gonna go Ace Bailey here.
Okay.
It sounded like you didn't want to go.
I didn't really want to, but I
You're
think
hesitant.
if there's ever a situation to get the best of him, I think it's playing off of Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid and Jared McCain. Let him do role player stuff and be the 3-and-D guy and slowly grow into his skills, not fall into his bad habits. I think it's good for him.
I think putting him in Philly with Paul George and having Bucky Getter next to, perceived people's GOATs.
Yeah.
And having all that is a great situation.
Yeah, he needs to be in a place where he can learn good habits and not be on like the Hornets where he can just chuck. And I think this would be really good for him.
I agree. Ace Bay can do a lot of, at times, foolishness on the basketball court when he has too much responsibility and freedom. And this team right here, everything's already made in Philly. They're a fake lottery team, of course. Having him in a place to where he can only do 1 or 2 things on the basketball court and that's it is perfect for his development.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's best for all wings for the most part to start off as role players and expand, unless you're like some elite prospect that's like obviously going to be a star day one. But for the most part, for wings that have like flashes but aren't a guarantee and you have some questions, starting with the most minimal role possible and you're running from there is always the best.
Facts.
Donovan, who's number 4? Who are the Charlotte Hornets taking?
The Charlotte Hornets are taking VJ Edgecombe.
This feels like the safest pick in the entire draft. This feels like a guarantee.
Yes, and to go in there and just say, athlete, let's go, let's have some fun. Even if everything once again gets taken down to the studs because of injuries or just whatever, at least you're gonna have some fun, right? VJ Edgecombe can do a lot of things, but he can jump.
He feels like
he can fly.
A seamless fit alongside LaMelo and Brandon Miller. A lot of people are a huge swing factor for VJ is his ability to score on the ball consistently, but one of his like underrated strengths is his ability to be off ball and his off the or his on ball just shooting, cutting and all that. So having a super hyper athletic 2-guard right in between those two who can thrive as an off ball guy is seamless.
Yeah, we don't know if he's gonna have the ball skills and the outside jump shots gonna come around to be like the star he can be, has the potential to be. The best way to kind of hedge that and say if he's going to be a role player, where does he fit? Between LaMelo and Brandon Miller is a perfect fit. He can be a great on-ball defender, be the athletic 2, be your super Avery Bradley type of guy between them. I would love that.
Exactly. So rolling into the 5th pick, the Utah Jazz. Now this is where the draft is all up in the air.
Yeah, and I don't know who you're going to pick. I wrote down somebody, but I feel like there's a good chance you wrote somebody else.
Yeah. So with the Utah Jazz, they're looking for fucking star-studded talent. And at this point in time, that's what they're looking for. But right now, there's no one in my mind who screams to that position so far. And because of that, with the 5th overall pick, the Utah Jazz are selecting Colin Knippel.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't expect
he's an easy
that
selection because they feel really good about Isaiah Collier. Obviously, like, I don't know if they had number 2 or number 1, Isaiah Collier is not good enough to, good enough of a player to not choose another point guard above, which is Dylan Harper. But Colin is someone who can solidify that 2 spot. He is a great positional defender. He can do all the things offensively, which is what they devoid of, which is when they need buckets. He's a great 3-point shooter. He has on-ball chops that he wasn't allowed to show off in Duke at all. I think he's a good solidifying piece. They need foundational pieces, and I think he is that.
He's the safest pick. Like, he's going to be a good shooter. Like, he's going to be a 3-and-D, for lack of a better word, off-ball player. Like, that feels like a very high floor for him. So that's cool. If you don't feel confident the guys below him, go for the guy you know will be good. And they need all the good players
they can't afford any misses right now.
Yeah, they can't miss at all. It has to be a player that's at least good for a long time.
Yeah, we feel certain ways about Keontae George, J-Dub's brother. I forget his name already, bro. Cody. Yikes, man. There's just a lot of suspect prospects going on over there, and Colin will at least help stabilize things.
Okay. I was going to pick Molly Wash for the Washington Wizards, but you let this guy fall, so I think they had to pick Trey Johnson. I thought he was going to go 5. Trey Johnson, if he's here, they don't have guards that are so solidified that like you have to build around them. I think he's the highest upside left right now as a 6'6" guy who could potentially be a 3-level scorer if things go well. Easy pick for me.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Nice.
That's so interesting. They have they have Jordan Poole, Bub Carrington, and then Keyshawn George. You're right. That is not enough to.
No, yeah, he can start over Keyshawn George. That I would hope like that's somebody he can easily take a starting job.
That's not ridiculous.
And shout out to Jordan Poole, but he's not stopping me from drafting a future.
Yeah, guy. And like Trey Johnson, he's more of a 2-guard anyway, so like he could play with Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Number 7, the New Orleans Pelicans. They select Jeremiah Fears.
Okay. You want another point guard in there?
Yes, you have Zion. You have Missy. You have Olynyk at your stretch 5. Your point guard situation, DeJounte Murray coming off the Achilles. You had CJ McCollum. He also got hurt. You need some scoring in your backcourt. Jeremiah Fears can do that for you.
Yeah, this is another one of those kind of like Trey Johnson, high ceiling swings at this point in the draft where they could pick a role player. They could pick Murray Boyles and pick someone that's going to be good for them for sure when they're trying to win, or they can swing for the goddamn fences because you don't know how many top 10 picks you're going to get. And if he hits, he obviously has insane potential with his dynamic ball handling.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. That would be crazy. Not a crazy pick, but it feels like the right pick. Of course, swing factors are his jump shot and how reliable he's going to be able to get that three off. But I think he easily come in there, not day one and fill in a role, but I think in a few years I can see him doing CJ McCollum type stuff.
I mean, he literally might be able to and might have to. Every single year somebody on the Pelicans gets hurt, Jeremiah Fears might be able to walk in day one.
I think ideal world, if they're healthy, Jeremiah Fears has 0 role year one. I think they redshirted him like they did Rob Dillingham.
And how many years have been ideal for the New Orleans
Not
Pelicans?
fucking many.
Okay. With the number 8 overall pick, the Brooklyn Nets select Kamon Malawach.
Okay.
I hate that he's going to Brooklyn, but I think the fit makes sense simply because right now
because they're finishing Trey Claxton to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Their trajectory is like, yo, we're trying to sell off and be as bad as possible. And so, of course, Nick Claxton is still young.
He's a Laker.
He's in the middle of his contract.
And a Laker.
And I see no reason why the Brooklyn Nets would want to keep this young defensive stud
especially because he's a Laker
for any longer, because they can get way more and replenish
from the Lakers
in every single spot of the team. Preferably, I would like
Connect.
them to be higher and like swing for a pick that might be a star. But having someone like Malawach just stabilizes everything, and I think he's a center with high ceiling in this league.
Yeah. Okay. I think I had the Raptors taking either Fears or Derek Queen, but because the way this is falling, at this point, I think they have to pick Kasparis. I think he's the best player on the board. I didn't expect him to fall. If he's going to be here, Emmanuel quickly is not the long-term point guard. They can take a swing there. They love them, some length, some size. That's a big point guard for them.
Okay. I guess that's another creator to help take the load off of someone like Emmanuel quickly, Scotty Barnes. So.
And it's not the best fit in the world, but they can't be drafting for fit. I think he's the most dynamic player on the board. If the three-point shot comes along and is reliable for them, more positional size, more playmaking. Even if it's a backup point guard, you want to keep starting quickly, he can go into that role. I wanted them to get a big, but if Malawach isn't there, I don't think they got to reach for one. So I feel like that's the best player there.
Okay.
All right. Number 10. There's a couple ways that I can go here. I think for Houston, let's go get Derek Queen.
Okay.
I think you look at the Rockets and everyone says, "Oh, you need a go-to scorer. You need somebody like that." Hey, they're about to package up a whole bunch of their guys to potentially go get one of them. Their front court might be depleted, and having like you don't know the what your front court is going to look like, whether it be with Sengun or Steven Adams and all them guys. Why don't you go get another 6'10" big body who could be out there, be athletic, and you can still keep that identity of having, two bigs and being a very physical team in the front court, and pair that with Devin Booker, and you'll be okay.
No, Queen and Sengun, you can see them fitting really well together. Two smart passers. Like both are like tweener size-wise. When you got two of them, maybe now you got versatility, especially if Queen, the three-point shot is going to be there. He stretches the floor. I can see that.
Yeah, I feel confident in Queen's three-point shot eventually scaling upwards, because he did shoot like 76 or 75% from the free throw line, which is obviously a big indicator towards him and his ability to stretch the floor out being a real thing. That's a fine fit. I like that.
Okay. Next thing we're going to do. I'm going to name several NBA stars from the course of history, and I want you to tell me what the best version of this player is. So, you can say a specific year, a specific era, whatever you want. When you think of this player, what is the peak version of them that you think of?
Okay,
let's do it.
LeBron James. Start with the easy one.
This is 2012 or 2013.
Yeah.
Either one of those.
You don't buy the argument that it's 2018 because he was so smart and so next level from the IQ?
No.
Super soldier brain?
People there were periods in like his Cavs stint where he literally took 2 weeks off, right? The defense wasn't 100% there. Now it wasn't bad. It wasn't the way that it was in, years later. 2013 LeBron is as efficient as you can be, as great of a passer as you can be, as great of a defender, versatile defender.
And he's a DPOY finalist.
All of it. 2013 is the LeBron year.
Oh, and also people act like he got smart in 2018. Also a genius in 2013.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. In 2018, the only difference between that run versus this one is that 2018 LeBron, that was his
Had that
best
nasty
shooting
beard.
year.
Had that nasty
Oh my
just
God.
square
Oh,
beard.
the
just
square
came-
beard.
It
I
was
hated
awful.
that.
Dude, he looked like a
all
superhero.
year. I was like, Brian, please cut it,
Look like a lumberjack, like Amish.
please.
Yeah, Miami Braun is next level.
Yeah.
And you could say 2009 Braun. You want to go to the one that's even more athletic, a little bit lighter. So he was flying through the sky. But I don't know. He was so much more refined. The off-ball game was there. The defense was as good as it's ever
The
been.
post-up game was better in 2013.
Yeah. Eric Spoelstra really knew how to use the defense specifically.
Wow.
Maybe he could have done that in 2009 as well, but he didn't. So I feel fine going Miami.
Okay.
Steph Curry. What comes to mind?
Man, this is legitimately a tough question.
It's debatable. Very debatable.
Yeah. So obviously 2016 comes to mind immediately. That's when he won the MVP unanimously.
Yeah.
But then, of course, like you can't avoid what happened back in 2021.
Yeah.
Or 2022. Sorry, when he won the championship. That one-man carry job was insane, and that's something that's something that everyone thought he wasn't able to do
Exactly.
from a point guard position. So
Yes.
it might be that one right there.
It's the one. So 2016 is one of the best regular seasons of all time. One of the best scoring offensive years. You could say the best offensive peak anybody's ever seen. That's not crazy. But 2022, his game was more catered to carrying in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what matters when you're differentiating these type of things. So I don't know.
Just go ahead and say it.
I don't know what you want me to say.
He was more equipped to just go get a bucket in 22.
Oh my God. It always just reverts
He was stronger. He was stronger. He went to the basket a lot more. Also, he was never a bad defender because of effort, but in 2016 he was super light. In 2022, his team defense was even better because he got stronger and because he got smarter and knew exactly where he needed to be at certain times. So you can say 22.
Okay, so you know what? 2016, best regular season maybe ever. So that's a better regular season player. But 2022 is clearly a better playoff player, and that's what you play the game for. You want to win championships when you're a player of his caliber. So I think it's fine going 2022.
Side note, these Warriors jerseys with the pinstripe shorts, this is disgusting. This is a sleeved
That's
jersey.
something that I will make someone wear for punishment, bro.
Bro, a sleeve jersey and then mismatching pinstripe shorts. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's a crime.
They thought they were
What are we doing?
Kevin Durant. This one is quite difficult, I think.
You have MVP 2014,
You do. Wasn't nearly the defender, but offensively he was fucking ludicrous.
right?
Then you do have like 2016, 2017, or 2017, 18 when when his defense took up to another notch. I think he was in the conversation for all NBA teams, which is crazy. He was in defensive player of the year conversations. Insane, but
The 2021.
That's all I'm going to say.
2021, he was still defending crazy. His passing was so much better, so much higher IQ. The veteran stuff was all there. I guess the answer is 2017 is probably the good mixture of both. But 2021 was dangerous.
I might lean towards 2021 because
I think the post Achilles stuff, while he was the best we've ever seen recovering from it, he did have less of a burst that in 2017 he had, and he was still a good defender. That 2017 was just like a dynamo. It's kind of like the LeBron conversation where he's just insane.
But the playmaking though in 21.
He didn't have to play make. He probably could have in 2017, but he didn't have to because he was just a
Well,
missile.
no, everybody got hurt in the playoff run, and he was out there. James Harden, his hamstring had fallen off the bone. They were playing with LaMarcus Aldridge on the team still.
Oh, you're saying 21? Yeah.
Yeah, in 21. That's a Blake. Was Blake there at that point? Maybe can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll say 2017 because it's the good mix, but 21 is a very good year.
Super close. I don't think it's crazy to say 21 was better than young KD.
Then 14.
no.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy because this game was more complete
Again,
on all around ends.
I don't know. That seems like a stretch.
it's another regular season versus playoffs thing to me. Not to say young KD wasn't good in the playoffs, but the old man brain was so goddamn powerful in 2021. All the small stuff comes together. Like that's to me like 2018 LeBron versus 2009 LeBron.
Yeah.
And you can still say 2009 is better in both these arguments, the younger version, but there's an argument for the older version being so much better for the playoffs specifically.
That's 2014.
It is. It's crazy. It's a hard debate.
It's wild.
It's tough.
And you see it now when you look back at highlights. It's not only the handle, but it's how quick he's getting
Fast
in
as
and out the
hell.
hand. He's so twitchy. He's so agile.
Yeah.
2014 is different.
Okay. Kobe Bryant.
Whew.
So this comes down to the version with Shaq where he was young and athletic as hell and amazing as a second option that can be the first option on many nights when needed, or the older version. Actually, no, there's three options. Because you could say the older version when he won back-to-back, where he's more based on skill and refinement, and it led to victory. Or you can say in between, in like 2006, when he was just getting buckets on the worst teams ever.
He was a demon.
He was
The athleticism was still there as well, too.
I think
that's when like the shot chucker era of Kobe, where he just had to get shots up because there was nobody around him. And I think part of that was because the team sucked, but I think also he matured before 2009 when he realized that style of play isn't going to win.
This is tough. I think 09.
I was going to lean towards 08 or 09.
Yeah, I think the first Magic title, or the first title against the Magic, the first one of the back-to-back, that's the one where you get all of the, like, you still get the tough shot making, you still get the footwork. His leadership had risen to another level where he's not just like,
he's not berating teammates anymore.
And he might have still did that, but he picked his spots a little bit.
Picked his spots. It wasn't Smush Parker. You should die.
Yeah, and you still had the last bits of like elite athleticism from him, right at that point. So probably 09.
That's fair.
I'm fine with 08 or 09.
Kawhi Leonard.
I think it might be
It's
2019, but him in 2021 was
exactly
different.
Exactly. He was playmaking insanely well the first year at the Clippers, our second year.
Under 2017.
That's true. He was an MVP ballots, I think.
That's what I'm saying. He was an MVP finalist. It was before he had gotten hurt. He was averaging like 25, 26 for the first and second time in his career. DPOY final, all of that. That might be the most complete in terms of athleticism,
because of defense too.
Together.
But dude, 2021, people don't know because he didn't have a chance to do it in the playoffs because he got hurt. The passing leap he made that year before the playoffs was outrageous. If he could have stayed healthy, it would have been like 2019. But now he's an above average passer getting 7 assists a game.
But I think the level of defender that he was in 17 is
trumps all.
Yeah, that's one of those where it's like it's on like the on the podium of like
two-way players.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go 2017. That's fine. Well, I don't know. I mean, if we're so torn between 17 and 21, is the answer just 19? Because he also had one of the best runs of all time.
Yeah, I think 19 is the easiest one.
Yeah.
So that's it's one of the hardest conversations.
All three are amazing.
I think I would go 17 and just say damn you Zaza.
Okay.
Damn you, Pachulia. Next up, Chris Paul.
Huh.
Young Chris Paul, incredibly fast, had some scoring boost, really shifty, crazy, elite defender for a point guard. Middle-aged Chris Paul on the Clippers. A good balance of both, but a little bit less reliant on athleticism, but he still had that in his bag. Or you can go like Suns Chris Paul, where he was just a genius and the shot making was outrageous.
And he's been all over the league. I forget that sometimes.
Suns Chris Paul was really good.
He was not as good as Clippers Chris Paul.
Didn't Suns Chris Paul have a game in the playoffs where he like didn't miss a shot? He was like 16 for 16 or something ridiculous.
The shot making was crazy. His mid range was so automatic by the time he was that age.
Yeah, that run to the finals was insane. I remember they upset the Lakers. And
we gotta watch some Chris Paul highlights, man.
People forget.
Yeah,
it's
been a while. I'm
dude. I don't know. Genuinely,
I'm gonna go Clippers Chris Paul to be able to go to that franchise and instantly bring them into relevancy and to make DeAndre Jordan an all NBA center.
Fair enough. The playmaking was crazy. Okay. A lot of times the answer is the guy at the age where it's balanced. He has the IQ plus the athleticism still. Yeah. That's the case for Chris Paul. Blake Griffin.
I think this is easy. I think it's that 2018 year, the first one probably, when he got traded to the to the Detroit Pistons.
You say that. 2015 playoff Blake Griffin was on another level. That was like, oh, this guy's rising, one of the best players in the playoffs.
Tell me about it.
It felt almost like Jalen Brunson we did last year, where nobody expected it, but it's like, oh, he just doesn't miss, and he's putting up the most insane production you could imagine from him. Yeah. The game felt complete. That's when you started to see the passing chops come along, and it wasn't just this athletic guy. I think I lean 2015.
That's where you see it come along, but you see it like finally finalized in 2018.
But he wasn't the athlete then. 2015, he was still the athlete, crazy athlete.
He had the jump shot, he had the passing, and he still was like a brute force.
And I think I'm gonna lean towards 2018 because if you watch those clips, he has this crazy brace on his knee.
He was on one leg.
He clearly did not have all the athleticism yet. the impact that he had was still there. I mean, before this recent Pistons run, that was like the singular Pistons year of like hope and actually doing stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's because Blake Griffin got there and was like, yeah, I'm a demon.
He sold off the rest of his career for that singular year.
His handle was so crazy for his size at that point. And like he wasn't fast. He was just like actually getting bag work off with his handle. It was nuts.
I'm going 2018.
Kyrie Irving. Now, the Nets Kyrie was crazy. 50, 40, 90. Obviously, he won with the Cavs. Celtics Kyrie. Brad Stevens had him defending. Had him passing. 6.9 assists a game.
Okay. It's that mental, though. It's that mental. He went into a super team and burned it to the ground. I would never forget. It was supposed to be the Celtics and the Warriors in the finals. Like preseason, it was Kyrie and Tatum and Hayward and Brown and all them youngish Al Horford. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to get there and they flamed out. And that was a team that people were legitimately saying, and it's me, I'm people, we're legitimately saying this team is better with Terry Rozier playing rather than Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
That the mental side and that's where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. I think in the regular season it was the best version of Kyrie, but the playoff success is antithetical to that. So I guess maybe 50, 40, 90 Nets Kyrie.
I feel like Kyrie, a version of Kyrie.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
So 2016 Kyrie, welcome.
2017 Kyrie was different as well, though. The efficiency in which he played with and the passing chops weren't as there when it comes to Boston, but you could see it start to come into form as well. Very underrated version of him.
So what's the answer? I think the answer is actually Celtics Kyrie, but if we're going success-wise, can't.
If let's take all that stuff out of it. Just as a basketball player, I'll take Boston
2019.
Kyrie.
2021 is close though. 2021 Kyrie was brutal. He was crazy.
This is actually the closest conversation.
They're all the closest conversation. Yeah. They're all hard. Carmelo Anthony.
The Blazers and OKC up there. And the Rockets. And the Lakers. Damn. This is all downhill, bro.
Here's the Shaq meme of all the colors.
Yeah, it's like, damn, bro. All downhill, literally. Holy fuck, man. He was in LA. And he was a Blazer. Ugh!
He had some good years to the Blazers.
I remember that one highlight where he mixed up Zion Williamson.
The only one that is
without dribbling.
The only one that is disgusting is the Rockets and the Thunder too. That was a nasty era. That was the in between struggling to accept the next phase era.
Me come off the bench,
but the Blazers era was nice.
AP, they want me to come off the bench.
All right, Donovan, what's the best version of Melo?
He can't think about numbers.
Probably like it's either 09 or
what 13?
13. Because 09 is the year. It's post Olympics, and that's when like that whole group of LeBron, Wade, Melo, all of them have like their best years after the Olympics, and you see that a lot. But Melo came back from the Olympics and averaged like 30 a game.
Yeah,
it was elite scoring, and so I guess if you're talking about like Carmelo Anthony is a scorer. What was like one of his best scoring years? You'd probably go 09. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, furthest he ever went. You could say 09, but you could also say 2013 because I do feel like that Knicks tape era was part of the. You could see his leadership really, really shine through when he got to New York.
Okay. Fair enough. And that's the last one we got. Next thing we're going to do. The last thing we're going to do today. We're going to put these headbands on. We are going to do the game we've done before where we're all going to have an NBA player on our forehead. True. And we got to see who can guess their player first. We've made a bunch more names and there's 60 in here total, I think. So we got to get these on. It's going to be so hard to put these clips on and not fuck it up.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is I'm going to draw it to the camera. I'll just pull one out that we're not going to use. We're going to have stuff like this. Alex Caruso, we put on our forehead. We all get one. See who can guess the player first.
All right.
Put Caruso back in the bottom.
We've done this before.
It's all mixed up.
Feels like a TD3 classic at this point.
I know. So we grab one. Make sure you don't look at your player.
Okay.
Give this box to Donovan. And then you got to close your eyes, try to put it in the clip, which I feel like we're going to fuck up. Oh, nope. I got it first try. Let's go.
Did I get it first try?
Nope. You're on the outside. You got to feel around and touch the clip. You put it backwards.
Oh, no.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking. If I had it like forwards or back.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think I got mine.
You got yours. Okay. So, You guys see our players in our solo cams. Let's see who he is. Put your phone there. You can see the reflection.
Oh no, my bad.
He's fucking cheating, bro.
Look at him trying to be sneaky. Okay, you can go first. So we're all gonna ask questions about our player until we figure out who it is.
Is this a current player?
No.
No.
Or am I?
Does this player have a podcast?
Yes.
They all do.
Does my player have a podcast?
No.
Fuck.
Okay.
Is my player a champion?
Yeah.
Was he?
I think he was a part of those teams.
I think so.
Let's double check though.
Yeah, I'll
for
double
sure.
check because that's important.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
If I was to guess, I would say yes, he was. Things get muddied up a little bit.
Yeah, I can't remember what year he was on this team.
Yeah.
He was. Nope. No, actually.
Damn.
No, not a champion.
Damn. That's tough. Okay. Is my player a guard?
No.
Ooh, not a guard. Okay.
Is my player in the Hall of Fame or going to be a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
So he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I saw your eyes light up the second half. Okay.
Is he? Okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing my guy's still playing. Okay.
Okay.
Is this Tracy McGrady?
It is not.
No.
Okay, he checked early. It's not Tracy
Ooh,
McGrady.
he felt good.
I know. He felt good come off the hand. Clank off the backboard.
Is my player playing today?
Yes.
And he has a podcast. Okay.
Is my player playing today?
No.
Okay, see, I didn't want to make any assumptions. Okay.
Is my player a front court player?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this Paul George?
It's not Paul George.
Fuck.
Does my player have a championship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a borderline Hall of Famer. You got to think about it. He's not playing and he has a championship. Okay.
My player is not a champion.
Mm.
Is not playing front court. Were they primarily in would I think about them on a Western Conference team?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Has my player been an all-star before?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'll take a heat check here. I'm thinking my player might have recently made the Hall of Fame because you asked.
Mhm.
He's in the Hall of Famer. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He has a championship. This is Pau Gasol.
Cheater.
It was either Pau Gasol or Chauncey Billups. I don't know which one.
Power Chauncey.
It's Powell.
Let's fucking go. I guess your tone gave it away because you were like, is he? And I know Pau Gasol just made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Your tone
I think
gave it away.
I think I just seen it. Fuck.
Yeah, your tone gave it away. I saw you were like,
All right, take a guess.
For my guy. Okay, so he's playing right now. He is not a guard. He's made an all-star team, and he has a podcast.
yours is very easy.
Very easy. Okay, so if that's the case, there's only so a certain amount of dudes in the league who are at that caliber and also have a podcast. Is this? I said Paul George. That was the only one. They have a fucking podcast.
Come on, man.
And he's playing today too.
Yeah.
8, 7,
Fuck.
6, 5, 4,
Bro, this is so easy.
3, 2, 1.
I choked.
Paul, this is LeBron. Yeah.
This
He has
is
a
my glorious
podcast.
king. This is my glorious king.
Who do you think you got?
How could I?
I don't know.
DeMarcus Cousins.
He wasn't there.
Yep.
Tragic.
All right, let's do one more round.
All right. Kyrie's over here, so let me just put him away.
You got yours?
No, I just put him away.
Oh, okay.
'cause he was flipped up already.
Wait, no. He is a champion.
He wasn't there. 2019 is the year he was in the Warriors.
He got it with the Bucks.
But he wasn't there for real.
He was in the Bucks?
I think he received the ring, but
I mean, he played 17 games there. No, that's 2022.
Isn't he a champion with the Bucks?
No, 2021 he wasn't there. He was on the Clippers. He was there in 2022. He was on the Bucks for 17 games.
Interesting.
Okay. Got my name. Am I facing the right way?
Yes.
yeah, he does have a championship.
He does?
With the Lakers.
He's there in 2020?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was not on the team at the end of the finals or to the back half.
Oh,
of
he's
the
got
season.
cut. Oh, yeah. He got hurt again, didn't he?
I don't know if
Yeah, he
got-
signed with the team that got hurt again before the season started. That was the ACL. Nice. Okay, one more round.
Is it the right way?
Yep. Just got to get in the clip.
All right.
You guys. Okay. So, you guys know. Let's see who can guess the NBA player first. I guess I'll go first. I won. Does my player work in media?
No.
No,
Okay.
he does not. Okay. Is my player playing today?
No.
Nope.
Ooh, old dude. Okay.
Is my player playing today?
He is playing
Yeah.
today.
Yeah,
Fuck
he
it, is my player playing today?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is.
Oh,
Is
no
my
wonder he
player-
doesn't work in media.
Is my player a Hall of Famer?
Yes. Is my player
You're gonna
And-
troll me.
No, I just he got
does
it.
my player currently play in the Eastern Conference?
No.
No.
Is my player a bucket?
No.
Damn, he's not a bucket.
Damn.
Okay.
I mean, I would have a little bit of argument.
No.
He's not known as that, but I mean, shit's there.
He's like, I don't know. You guys are giving me.
No, he's not a bucket.
Okay.
Just stop.
So he's
All
saying
right.
he's like capable of getting a bucket at any given moment, but not a bucket.
I guess. All right.
He said no, he's not a bucket.
When you say who's a bucket, this guy's name never comes up.
Okay.
Is my guy known? His main team never comes
Is he
up.
gay?
It's crazy.
Yo, is my game?
What did you say?
Is my guy? Did he play majority in the Western Conference?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so my guy is in the West Conference, currently playing today. Did my player make the 1 through 8 playoffs?
Yes. Wait. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh yeah,
His
yeah, yeah,
team-
yeah, yeah. I know.
yeah.
I misunderstood the question. Yeah, yeah. Is my player an all-star currently?
No.
No.
Okay. Has my player won a championship?
No.
Ooh. No championship in their Hall of Famer? Okay.
Great. Is my player on a team? Did my player's team make the second round of the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got Draymond Green.
No.
Damn.
He works in media.
Was that your
Oh, true, true.
Was that your guess? Okay.
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay.
Not a bucket.
So my player, known for majority of the time in the Western Conference, Hall of Famer, and he has no rings. Charles Barkley.
No.
Incorrect.
Damn.
Is okay, is my player eliminated from the second round?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's gonna get it soon. Is my player a good passer?
No.
I'm trying to ask interesting questions. We do the same shit every time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, no.
try fucking try hards. Not a good passer, not a bucket. What does he do? What the fuck does he do?
Damn, my player's a Hall of Famer. Like so I'm assuming he's already been abducted to the Hall of Fame, and he's played.
They took him.
I'm trying to feel the outline of the silhouette.
Hey, cheater, put your hands down.
I don't even think that'll work.
It won't. But
Okay.
it would do nothing for him.
Fucking idiot. That's a piece of. They all feel the same.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. I swear
they
to God. You could not guess a single player based off of the outline.
Make a guess, man. Go on.
That's so
Make a
funny.
guess. Go on, make a guess.
Okay, he's known for the majority of the time in the Western Conference. No damn rings. This is not Charles Barkley. And he's already a Hall of Famer. Ooh.
I have no idea who I have.
Okay. He's getting his soon.
Yeah.
So we gotta shoot in the fucking dark here. Is this Damn. I was just about to
Say a name.
I was about to say a name, but then I'm like, I don't want to take a too much of a bad guess. Is this No.
But we're on
I gotta
podcast. Say a name.
I gotta
Fuck,
get
please.
one more question in. Does he Kevin Garnett.
No.
No.
Fuck, he has a ring.
Is my player a champion?
No.
No. Okay. Whew. Fuck.
Is my player above 6'5"?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Not an all-star. Above 6'5", not a bucket. Not a good passer. He's big, can't pass, and can't score.
Is my player bald?
No.
Fuck.
Is this Jimmy Butler?
This is Jimmy Butler.
Fucking
Who the hell do I have? Fucking Sengun? Chet Holmgren. I thought Chet Holmgren for a second. I thought Chet Holmgren.
Ah!
Damn.
Steve Nash.
You see how I felt the outline and then I guessed?
No.
Dummy. Don't ever doubt me.
You did not guess
Don't
that.
ever doubt me.
You asked the wrong
Don't ever doubt my
questions.
method.
Dude, it's so funny because I really thought Chet Holmgren.
Don't-
And if I would have said that, you would accuse me of cheating so bad.
Don't put your limitations on me.
And that's the end of this show. If people are still here, what should they comment?
Comment,
Oh.
don't put your limitations on me.
Ooh.
Don't do it.
you're there, comment. Don't never doubt Donovan.
Don't doubt Donnie.
And we'll see y'all next week.